Welcome to Back of the Rack Status Check, a video podcast about two best friends talking about anything and everything under the sun. This series serves as a way for us to connect and discuss current games, events, different hobbies, and any questions we have about the greatest game of all time, life. I'm Sondi. Once again with me as always, Bendez. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good. You know, my sister just got married and I had a whole speech. I didn't know what I didn't know what honor meant. So, and I wanted to include it in my speech. It was very important to me to include honor. But so I had to go to the bathroom, look it up, just to make sure I was using it contextually. But then I decided that I didn't even like the definition, what that honor stood for. So I just did my own definition. Because what it means to me is protect.
Were you taking notes? Are you like...
That's what it means. I was listening to you, is what it was.
Unlike you. Oh man. It is.
My mom was looking at me too the whole time. It was funny. Like she I could tell like she wanted me to say the speech. She wanted me to, and I was like, fuck, you know. And I've only been married for what? Couple months, so I there's not much I could really say, you know. I told him I was an expert as a joke, but like, you know, it was good. And after that, I just came home sparked, you know, and I'm hip. I'm hippity hop.
Bro, please, you're making me cry, bro. Oh my gosh. That's literally what we were saying. Well, I was saying before I hit record officially for the podcast. That would usually be our preamble, but I had to vomit that out before we started. But what have you been up to? You had a birthday. Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
You're an adult now.
I'm an adult. Oh yeah. I'm 32. So, and I'm over here. As you can see, my room really shows how much of an adult I am. But yeah, it was fun. I took 3 days off, so I had a nice, and then I had Columbus Day off, or Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever the fuck they call it now. I had that day off, and so I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and my girlfriend Elise, she took me to a comedy show for Instagram influencer named Terry Kennedy. Which, like, it was just so random. Like, it's not like I'm a fan of his, and she was just like, I just thought it'd be, like, kind of funny to see, like, what, like, an influencer, like, running out really a menu. Looks like. Yeah, and just, like, seeing, like, what his comedy act is, because he just skits on Instagram Reels. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay, it's kind of, let's see. He's kind of like, do you know who King Bach is? I think that's his name.
Oh, he's like one of those skits.
He's like one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird how that translates into actual stand-up.
Yeah, and so he's just like white dude. He's probably like around my age. He's pretty funny. It wasn't bad. It's funny like just seeing I don't know what you would call it, the audience that he pulls in, which seems to be, and he knows this too. He seems to be like middle-aged white women for some reason that really fuck with him. So like going to the show, you're thinking it's gonna be like maybe like Gen Z and some millennials.
Yeah,
but
a little
there
bit
was a lot of like.
Looking.
Yeah, some teenage people, but nah, it was a bunch of fucking. Dude, it was weird. I was like, what the fuck? But
to be fair, stand-up comedy is an old people sport. Like that's what. Like every time I've gone to a comedy show, I've always been the youngest in the room. They always visibly make a joke like, "Damn, these niggas young as hell." So I mean, yeah, I think because the older you get, the more you understand. Like, okay, there's some art to the comedy instead of just going to see the big names in the theaters to having the cafe. You kind of get to a point where you understand that that's also cool, but they're still trying to go to the club when you're that age. I'm not going to a comedy club.
That's true. That is very true. Even though they do serve, they serve alcohol and shit, so you can get up and grab yourself a brewski or a cocktail while you watch. But yeah, so we did that. It was fun. Went out that night. Like we had a what do you call it? Like a little get together. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, my mom took me out to an arcade bar the previous day. Pretty much it, dude. I mean, once you get older, people stop caring about you turning any specific age.
That's it. You get a text, "Happy birthday, my boy," and that's
yeah. The texts get shorter. The inquiries get shorter. Usually, it's like, "Hey, happy birthday, dude. What are you doing? Got plans?" And then like every year, just like, "What are you doing? Okay, that's cool that you're doing that." I'm not even gonna be a part.
I'm not even gonna interject.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't even want to know. Hey, happy birthday, and then it just becomes like, "Hope you have a good day." It's like, thanks, man. I guess.
I'll pull up.
Yeah. There's a lot. It's funny, and that's something that I've like as I've gotten older. You just sort of realize, and it happened kind of fast. The shift between people, like all my friends and family, wanting to have like a birthday dinner or a party or something. The shift from like 100 to 0 was fast. It was like within like once I turned 30, it's like nobody was there anymore.
Damn.
You know? Yeah, it was like I was like damn, because everybody has like more, you know, well, this was during COVID too, so that kind of I think like amplified that. But once you know, like COVID was done, a lot of people had families, got married, you know, no one's like trying to fucking really do anything, get you gifts, like no one's really trying to do much, you know. Like even my own sister, dude. That night that we went out to go see the Instagram influencer, we went downtown, and me and Elise were just kind of going to some bars. It was a Thursday, so it's kind of a weird day anyways, but you know, some of the bars were, you know, somewhat popping, and my sister was out, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what are you doing here?
What do you do? You're out on my birthday. You even say like, hey, I'm gonna be out, you could join us, or hey, like I want to come hang out with you. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, all right, I guess no one really cares
me,
anymore.
Right?
Yeah, like literally, that's how I felt. I was like, what the? And I guess it would be different if we had never done anything for each other's birthdays. But like, I had always like done shit for her, you know, and like.
Yeah. But I guess she thought that you weren't going to do anything. I guess she was like, oh, it's Ben. He's just going to sit in the house. He's probably going to play some games, watch a movie, drink some beer.
Yeah, I think that's her mentality too. Like ever since I've been in a relationship, I feel like she just thinks I'm home a lot more than I really am. I'm definitely home a lot more, but I still go out. Like me and Elise do shit, you know? So it's just like, yeah. I don't know. And then... It just really makes you realize how I only have Elise left, which is my girlfriend.
Nah, because bro, I be feeling that, bro. I be feeling that so much. Like, damn, once I move, it's just gonna be me and my wife, bro.
Yeah, like that's you only have your partner. Because even when my mom took me out to the barcade, like, it was just me and my younger sister. Like, and it was just like, wow, this is what my what my adult life has come to. Like, none of my friends have even bothered to be like, yeah, like, I can maybe make time. I took 5 days off. I can make maybe time for you. Yeah, I can. Nah, nothing.
Yeah, but I'm about to go red pill on this. But women, they be celebrating their birthdays. Say what you want. A woman is going to celebrate her birthday. How many birthday dinners have you gone to this year?
3.
Exactly, and they were all for women, right?
Yep, all for women. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Give me a birthday dinner. Yeah. I want to be with family and friends. What the fuck?
They're just an acquaintance, but I'm at this birthday dinner though. They gonna have
right,
it, bro.
Yeah.
They gonna have a get together, something. I don't know. I think that's just something as men we kind of just like, whatever.
Yeah, you would think, but I feel like my birthday was always a time for all these people to get together, especially since we didn't do it often, and just seeing like everybody kind of grow up or grow out of it or not make the time, you know, is just like, wow, you know, it's just kind of slowly dropping off, and you feel a little bit lonelier every year, you know, and not completely lonely, like, you know, I have my partner and obviously, but like, you know, like just friends and stuff like that being there, because you get some sort of social validation from having like those friends around on your birthday. It's like, yeah, I know people, they love me, but when no one's there, you're like, oh shit, that was weird.
I feel you on that, especially because like weird. As we get older, like you said, we're having families, married, like we're not going to want to just hang out like we did all the time, where it was every day, all day. We would sit there I'll come over your crib at 10 a.m. and be like, what's up, dude? And then we would just sit there and play the game all day. and just do nothing. Like, we can't do that anymore. We got bills.
You got bills. Yeah, you can't just be hanging around.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was fun. I played some games, got a little bit of work done. I was planning on getting some videos done, but I fucking didn't.
Bro, listen, I'm the same way. I'm in between writing like 4 different scripts, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with any of these. I don't know what I want to do. I say this is the dark times right here at the end of the year, and that's why I'm glad that we do seasonal, so that like I can take a breather and be like, okay, what do I want to do?
Yeah, you definitely need that like creative recalibration or something. I don't know, but I feel like I haven't really done anything aside from this in a while. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I have a finished script. You've seen it.
Shit to do. That's what's wrong with you.
You know, and then I just get tired, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't see the value in it anymore. Maybe, like I just like, especially with my own personal channel. I have a Final Fantasy X script. It's just been sitting, and it's been sitting for maybe 2 years now, maybe a year and a half, something like that. But yeah, I just feel like, actually no, I finished it at the beginning of this year. So, but I've had to. I think I had to release that script maybe like 2 years ago, according to my schedule, you know. But I don't know. I just kind of just tired and just like not. I feel like I'm not gonna get anything really out of it. I don't know, you know. And I try to trick my mind. I'm like, okay, well, it's good practice. You know, you can really do something artful with it, make it more unique.
Try some new editing techniques.
Try some editing techniques, or maybe, you know, just make it interesting. But I just get like lazy, or I just, I'm like, is it even worth it? You know.
The hardest part of making a video, I'd say, isn't even a script writing. It's recording the audio to start the editing process. Yeah. That's always for me where I'm like, do I have to do this right now? Nah, I'm good.
That's another thing too. It's actually physically exhausting.
Yes.
When I did my, this is three plus years ago now. When I first started my channel, and I did the Trails of Cold Steel video, like, that was exhausting. You know, first off, I'm not good at remembering scripts, so I kind of have to read it. You know, so that kind of like limits what I can do with my camera, because I can't remember everything in the script. I have to have the script somewhere in front of me, you know, to be able to, you know, read it and shit. And I don't like just doing audio only. Like, I want it to be like something different. And it's just exhausting, you know, having to like sit there and like, oh, that didn't sound right, and I have to do this again. That didn't even look right. I was looking at the script the whole time and not the camera. Let me re-record. And then when you're editing, editing is better, I would say. Like, that's I don't know, like a more fun time. I definitely like editing more, but yeah, it's exhausting, man. And even what was more exhausting, I think what really wore me out, was that Genshin Impact video and the returns I got on that. Like, you put all this effort into it, making it something, right? And then I have to like bandy it around, like market it, put it on Reddit, put it on, you know, hey guys, look at this video.
I feel you on this heavily.
So, and then like I'm like, I don't want to do like a simple ass video like, oh, like, I don't know, like, have you seen Cody Ko's videos? He's basically just doing what I do, but like reacting to something, you know.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like those like streamers that'll watch a video and then they'll pause it, talk about it for a minute, and then keep watching the video. So you're pretty much watching it with somebody.
Yeah. So he does that, millions of views, right? You know, pretty funny and stuff, but I'm just like, I can't do that. That's not how I would want to do it. You know,
you're too artistic and you're too creative to just go for I have low hanging fruit.
Exactly. I have too much, as one of my best friends would say, I have too much honor, you know? And I just feel like
I have to do more. And I feel you on this, because that's what's making this next script hard to do, is that I've been trying to do, like you said, I've been trying to incorporate more of myself on camera, as well as like try to make a style, try to up more of the editing than just game footage cut, game footage cut, game footage cut, game footage cut. Like I'm trying to do more to at least the presentation. Like I'm forgetting his name, but he does the Smash Brothers Melee videos where he like explains like a weird glitch or mechanic, and he'll have like the way he edits it. It's pretty cool. So I've just been trying to learn and try to do stuff like that. But video making.
It doesn't help too. Like, I mean, I guess I have at least, but sometimes I feel like I just need like 3 additional people sometimes to make videos, or at least like what's in my mind. You know, I'm like, I need like a whole fucking crew sometimes. And
I feel you on that, because you gotta play the game, edit, talk, get your scripts, write your notes, research, edit, record, make a thumbnail, put it all in there. Apparently tags don't matter, but that used to take up a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
I used to be like, fucking tags.
So now you have to really think about a good title and description, because apparently that really matters more.
Yeah. I went through that same phase that you were talking about the time investment compared to the return on that investment. Especially when I like transitioned on my channel from like whatever MMO flavor of the month was going on, playing that, making a first impression, getting a couple thousand views, compared to when I switched to actually playing games, writing reviews, putting my camera, all that shit in there, and you would get 20 views. You'd be like, I just did what the fuck? Like, I put way more effort into this than I did this fucking
so much fucking effort.
MMO. The MMO, I just went like, this shit ain't fun for real. 10,000 views. Why? Like, I don't know. I feel you. But back of the rack, especially now, it's picked up a lot, and I enjoy not only the fact that we get to just have this video game book club of just like, okay, we're gonna play this game. I like the fact that we can have these open discussions, and our videos now become forums, exactly how I wanted it to be, where people would just come and they don't even probably talk about the video, just like, this game, bro, I remember everything about this game. Did you guys get to this part? Like, I just like having all that in the comments and the discussions. That's more fun to me when making a video. I'd rather have 50 views, 50 comments, and people talking than 50,000 and nobody talking or something like that. Yeah,
and this is a great topic too, because there is a sort of desaturation, a saturation of this video game content that people are making that's like opinion based, but they're like these op-ed pieces, you know, these sort of like video essay kind of stuff. And there's so much out there these days, you know. And when I was writing my Final Fantasy X one, I'm like, how do I make this different from everybody else's just opinion about their Final Fantasy X or whatever video, you know, like, because, you know, people would make videos about anything. Like,
there's 30 of them now.
Yeah, you could go on YouTube right now, look up your favorite game, and someone's like, you know, talking about it in a specific manner, or, you know, saying
retrospective or
retrospectives or
a synopsis. You get everything.
Yeah, and even some people, I'm seeing a lot more of like the Thor high heels type videos. I'm seeing those become more popular as well. And that's sort of the direction I wanted to go in. But now that I see more people doing that thing, I'm like, fuck.
I'm taking my fucking swag, bro. I was going to jack him first.
Shit. Yeah, I was going to, you know, kind of move in that direction a little bit. But now there's a lot of people doing that. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, no one really does it like Thor high heels. And everybody kind of has their different flavor. You know, some are like some are just like shit. Even if they have a bunch of views, like some are objectively like,
I feel you, where you're like, what the fuck?
Like, you don't have, yeah, like you don't have the voice. You don't got, you don't got it. You know, but it's tough, and I think being a creative person, an artistic person, but also somebody with a lot of, you know, to quote you again, honor, pride, somebody who is more, I don't know, I'm just a bit more stubborn. Like, I don't like doing what everybody else is doing. You know, and when I try to do what everybody else is doing and it still doesn't work, I'm like, see, it's better to just do something that you like, and who cares if anybody really watches it, you know?
Right.
the same time, it takes a lot of time. Like, I'm not gonna make this Final Fantasy X video, spend 2 weeks on it, 3 weeks maybe editing whatever, and then get 50 views, and it's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. No comments. People just
no comment. Yeah,
with
two likes, one's from me and like another one's from some random person.
So one's from my other profile.
Yeah.
No, I feel you on that. There's a big anxiety, especially with the MMO video, because even myself, I put it in the video just to be transparent that like I made that script a year ago when I was thinking about it, but just the anxiety of like trying to express that story and being like, nobody's gonna like that video. Nobody's gonna remember these MMOs. Like, what am I talking about? Like, this isn't even our demographic MMOs. Like, why would I talk about this on this channel? Like, people aren't gonna pick this up. And I don't know. I feel proud that we were able to get such a reception for that. It reassures me that what I'm thinking about doing for the next steps is good. And I think that's good for you. I keep telling you, nigga, just drop something, bro. Just fucking do it.
At the very least, I know you'll like it, so that's fine.
Exactly,
like,
bro.
That was fire.
Listen, if it's not fire, bro, I'm gonna tell you straight up to your face. I'm gonna be like, bro, but you do it to me. You be like, you sure? Hey, if you want to do that, that's up to you. Like, you be telling me. You tell me like, hey, bro, that shit not hitting.
I definitely had a hunch though, for your MMO and your the MMO video, but also the rhythm games. Like, I fucking, like, in my mind, I was like, this is a pretty good script. I think this might, like, especially, like, the 7 rhythm games that you, were playing. Like, you know, people like lists like that, and it also felt very personal when I watched it. I'm like, yeah, this will do good. I feel like your editor. I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, we could publish this. This is good to go.
With the fucking big-ass cigar, like,
yeah.
I need more video games about nostalgia.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the MMO video too, I thought was well written. I proofread and I think I edited maybe some of the stuff in that script, but it was very personal. And even I was intrigued when I was like reading it. I was like, yeah, this will do good.
I'm trying to play.
I just didn't think it was gonna do. Huh?
You said I'm trying to play 2-Town.
But it was interesting because it gave me more insight into your, you know, like just gaming history. And that's when I realized I'm like, oh, this nigga, he was a multiplayer nigga. You know, like, oh, this fucking...
Bro, you keep saying I'm a multiplayer. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I was not one of them, bro. I'm trying to tell you. It just seems that way because I played a lot of multiplayer shit, but I was cooling, bro. I'm not a social gamer, as you would call it.
Social gaming is one of those things I think that is... like, well, okay, so how would you define social gaming then? Like... because when I hear someone that likes to play MMOs, I mean, you're playing Fortnite with your buddies, you're doing, you know, 2K. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, that's social gaming, my nigga. Like, what?
That is. I guess I would.
What is social gaming to you?
To me, social gaming is when you only play like multiplayer games. Like, if you only play whatever your life service game of choice, and maybe you have like 2 or 3 that you rotate around of like, okay, I'm playing Call of Duty for my shooting, I'm playing FIFA for my sports, and I'm playing Street Fighter 6 for my competitive fighting games, and like League of Legends and Hunt Showdown. Like, you know, like you could really have like a roster of 10 games that you just play that are all multiplayer based games. And I've been in that circle for a while. Like, after MMOs, it's weird. It's an arc. It's rhythm games, Xbox Live games, MMOs. Then you had your social gaming moment where you just only play your 17 social games, and then you got to come back to reality.
Yeah. I would say that's definitely social gaming still, you know, because I think so. Let's do this. If you could split up, like, so think of a pie chart. Split up the amount of time you do social gaming versus solo gaming, I guess we'll call it, or whatever. Like, is it 50-50? Is it, you know, 45% solo gaming? You know, like, what is the, like, what would you, like,
I would say like 83-13.
Wow, really?
That's not even that doesn't even add up to 100. Oh my God. What the the fuck, bro?
Well, I was hoping you were gonna add in and like, oh, there's
and then 6%,
4%, yeah, 6.
Is it 6%? I don't fucking. Oh my god!
I don't know.
But fucking,
you made it hard for yourself by not rounding up to like the 10th. You were just
I was just like I wanted to be weird.
83 to 11. It's just like, why don't you just
82.96%? No, I would say like 80% because I've beaten a lot of games this year. Out of all years, I would say definitely would be 87% to 13%. I've beaten 60 games, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot. When I started this, I beat 65 games, bro.
I've always been, and we've talked about this a little bit in some of the other episodes, but I've always been a very like, and I don't know how much of it is just like the product of my environment versus just being the only one, or just not. I don't know. I feel like I'm very team oriented. Like I love being, I'm very social. I like being with people and stuff. So I don't know how much of it is my own personality versus how much of it was when I grew up. When I was growing up, not many people were into games in the way I was. Also, I grew up in like very poor, not super poor, but poor enough where like I didn't have a PlayStation 1. I didn't have a Nintendo 64 when it was like hot in the 90s. I had the fucking like Super Nintendo and like a Sega Genesis. You know, those are my first consoles, which as a kid you're like, fuck, I get the old shit, you know? There's not even like memory cards and shit. Like I gotta
beat this
put
game
in my
every
password.
Time?
Yeah, I gotta remember the password to this. Like there's no joysticks, you know, because the Sega just didn't have.
Is this where your like disdain for cartridges came from? From post-traumatic stress of being poor?
No, I actually don't have like a huge. I actually do like cartridges. They're like kind of nostalgic, but I just don't want to collect them because, for one, they're expensive.
That's true.
All right, and then two, they require a lot of space, you know. But what was my story? Oh, so yeah, like growing up, I just didn't have many people to play games with. You know, I would go over to a friend's house and play like Pokemon Stadium, or maybe would take turns on like Zelda, or you know, maybe they had like Twisted Metal or something. So like there were like multiplayer games I played, but a lot of this like the pivotal and very important gaming experiences I had that made me like games as much as I do all happened while I was alone, you know. So like as multiplayer games like I want to say like they start to become really big in I could be wrong about this, but let's say in the console space when Xbox 360 and PS3 all that, they had like online, right? So you could play online with Halo and all this. When the online aspect started to become the predominant way to play games socially is sort of when I was like, oh yeah, I'm not a social gamer.
I can't do this.
Give me a couch co-op game. I'll run that with you. I'll call myself a couch co-op gamer. Like I love doing that. Sit down with me. Let's run through Baldur's Gate. Let's run through the Ascent. Whatever.
So it has to be in person.
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, that's where I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like let's play Diablo together right here. Like I like that more. When it's social gaming with like the new term of it, where it's like just online, like you're at your house, I'm at my house, like that. I feel like that part, I've never been able to square that circle. Like I've just never liked it. My experiences with it, I've never had like a really good experience with it. Like where I'm like, yeah, this is I'm always doing this. Let's do it again.
You need people around you that play the game how you play the game. Like how we play Operation Raccoon City. You can't just play with randoms. I guess that's a better term.
Right? Yeah.
You need people that you're like, we're going to play through this game together. We're going to play Gotham Knights together. I'm not going to hop on and just online quick queue with these people.
Yeah. Guide me through the process and like understand that I'm not going to always be talking, or understand that
you can be antisocial within a social space and still get that experience.
Yeah, but also I feel like with social games, you can't really take your time with certain things because you're sort of at the mercy of the group, you know. So
Bingo. This is the exact issue I have with MMOs now. Yeah. Is that because everybody's either on Discord or everybody is trying to do the meta or whatever the most optimal thing is, like just optimizing all the fun out of the game.
Yeah, yeah. No one wants to take it slow. So it's just like,
so you have a moment. I've tried when I've played MMOs. Like when we played Final Fantasy 14, that's the main reason why I stopped. Even on the RP server, I'm trying to talk to people and be like, hey, I'm new to the game. Can we slow the fuck down? And before I can even type, they're already on the second pool. And I'm like, wait, guys, wait, hold on. I'm still typing on this slow ass PlayStation 5. Like, let me chill out. But it kind of ruins that because a lot of the times you don't get to experience it for the first time because you don't get to look at the world. You don't get to look at this dungeon. You just see, I need to move. You don't get to see the world because there's a guy running past in the regalia breaking your whole immersion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly. I think we're nailing it down. I like that we're talking about this because it's something that I've always like. Yeah, I just don't really like multiplayer, you know, or whatever. But I do like really. Like I'm not saying I like to role play in games, you know, but I do like immersing myself in a way where I sit back, I can appreciate, like, oh, that was a cool moment, or look at this town, this looks cool, or.
I wish I recorded that footage when we were playing Final Fantasy because there was a moment where we were walking around like the town before we logged off. And remember, we were just staring at people's armor and just waving
like,
at
this
people.
Guy looks cool right here. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are jumping up and down looking at us like, hey. Like, that's the cool part of being social.
Yeah.
But
But I think that's like a big part of it for sure. Social gaming now for a different generation. You know, for us, hanging out with friends was literally like, I'm going to come over to your house, or let's go to the mall, or let's go get into trouble somewhere, go to the arcade, Now it's like, let's meet up on Fortnite. That is our hanging out, you know? Like I think I told you on Discord where, like a percentage of Gen Z gamers, I guess, that play Fortnite for the social aspect, not even because like, oh, the game is the best. It's a good game. It's just because you can have it in the background. World. It's because like we can hang out because everybody's already here, so this is a good place to hang out, you know. And I thought that was fascinating because that's like, it's a virtual space now. It's basically like a meta sort of. Ready Player One-esque, like, oh, this is where we all just fucking chill.
Yeah, because the immersion we're in Fortnite. The immersion Fortnite is our world because I'm playing with Godzilla and Giannis Antetokounmpo on my team with a lightsaber. Like, you're just here to have fun and just do whatever with your friends, and this is the background that we do it. And I do think we were just talking about this playing 2K because they have proximity chat in there, so while you're playing basketball, you can be like, you some shit, break. And we're just talking about how people on Call of Duty used to just, you would hop on a lobby and people would just be talking about life. Playing Halo, people would just be talking. You just be on the mic. It wouldn't even be about the game. You would just be talking about like sports or something normal, anime, just people on the mic talking normally instead of just being weird and antisocial and tryharding. They don't do that no more. Yeah. I think you should play. This is a good game you should play. .hack//GU last for code.
Oh wait, that's the games you were playing, right? Are you beat this year?
If you play through that game, you will understand the allure of MMOs, especially back in the day when I used to play them. Where MMOs, you weren't immersed in the world. You weren't like, I'm all into the lore. They were just a virtual world where you would do stuff, and that's how the players talk in there. Like, you have emails, you can check the news and patch notes, go on the forum and talk with other people. You'll see them in the world and they'll talk with you and be like, hey, thanks for the help during this dungeon. You'd see them randomly in different like procedurally generated worlds and stuff. It actually felt like how it felt playing an MMO where you would see people again and they'd be like, oh, hey, here you go. I'll trade you this. Yeah, I got this. Like, that's the main way that you have to get items in the game. It's not from the shop. It's from trading with other players. Well, NPCs in the game.
Isn't there a remaster of that, or is it on
the remaster has all 3 games. You do not want to buy it on PlayStation 2. You'll be spending thousands of dollars.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, so I think it's I think gaming too is has always been a psychological escape for me. And this is gonna get our last episode, I do feel like got pretty real with some topics. But this is the truth, and I would tell you this in person too, like that it was very I had like there was a lot going on when I was like younger, and games were an escape for me, escape from people, escape from the complexities of my mom having me young and just making a lot of mistakes in front of me. And it was a safe haven, a place where I didn't have to interact with other people and this, complicated, especially like when you're young, when you're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like dealing with other people was kind of hard, especially because I think with my personal experience, I feel like I had to sort of grow up really fast because my mom had other kids and I had to sort of be the father, essentially. I had to play that role. And so I lost a bit of my childhood, if not all of my childhood, to sort of work out my own emotions and things, where I sort of had to step into that role and take care of other younger people, And so when I would play games, it was a true escapism of me being able to, and I said earlier I don't like to role play, but being a character in a different world and knowing that that there's like a emotional safety in this space, and I don't have to deal with some other jerk online calling me an asshole. It's just
you have the power.
To
affect your reality inside of a game.
Exactly, yeah. And so I think in some way maybe that's why social gaming in the Xbox 360, PS3 era never seemed... I mean, I had played online games. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I played a lot of Uncharted 2, Killzone 3. There's some games that I dabbled in, like Crysis 2. But I just wasn't ever, speaking online, actually social gaming, where I was like, hey, guys, let's party up. Let's, no.
Yeah, you weren't in there every night, all right, guys, catch y'all later. Boop, boop.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. But I think that's why I have a huge aversion to it, because the way I just play games and what I enjoy about them is lost when I take it to a social space. Playing Operation Raccoon City with you, and even The Division to some degree, I'm like, oh, well, maybe Sondi's the right person to do this with. But with my other experiences, it's just, I don't know, it's a little different. Like, I remember trying to get someone, it was my sister's boyfriend, that I tried to get him into The Division too, and he was a Fortnite nigga. Like,
he was
that's all. Fortnite,
trying to build.
I was like, nah, nigga, you gotta play Resident Evil 2. That's the closest thing to like a shooter. Maybe you might like it. Like, check it out. He got stuck and
gave up on Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Yeah, the remake too. The remake, not
the remake of all things. Everything shiny and being like, hey, pick me up.
He's not. That's the thing. There's a whole generation that's not used to games like that, right?
Yeah, just knowing innate game design elements that help
puzzles.
Yeah,
not used to it at all. And we were playing. I was like, let's try The Division, And I remember one of his first comments was like, I don't like how when you shoot them they don't immediately die. Like, there's numbers and you got to get better weapons.
Is that not how Fortnite is?
Yeah, and I was kind of confused. I was like, oh, I thought, well, that's kind of why I picked this game, because I thought Fortnite was like that. But I guess he was confused on the realistic looking nature of it.
Oh, and the amount of HP, because in Fortnite it's at most 200 damage, but in Division you could be shooting somebody for 12k each shot.
There's sponging. Yeah. There's bullet sponges and all this, but so I don't know.
We gotta go back
to what?
We gotta go back to The Division, man.
Oh, well, they're doing the Division 3 now, right? They're working on that.
Yeah.
Have you heard of?
Yeah, they are. They dropped a new season too of Manhunts. It's a perfect time. We can do New York. You haven't done the DLC. Let's do New York.
Oh wait, no, I have done the DLC.
Oh, what the fuck? Like, I'm so dead ass. I'll restart a whole character, bro. I love running through that game. We could do it again, bro. Let's do it.
You want to restart? I have 3 characters.
I have 2 level 30 characters.
No, I have 2. I have 2 characters.
I'll restart again. Fuck it. I don't give. Bro,
what character did you use? What character did you use when we played?
I made a new character that day. Like when you were like, yeah, let's play, and then you were like, yeah, my character's level 8. I was like I made a new character in preparation for us playing, and I was just playing the game. And then I was like,
okay,
all right, I'll just stay on this character.
Yeah, did I make a new character? I can't remember, but I mean, it's still fun regardless, because even if you use a high level character, you can replay some of like the older, campaign missions and stuff.
Yeah,
you get on a higher difficulty. Because I don't know if I would want to lose all that progress in I don't know, and even Monster Hunter, like when I was playing Monster Hunter Rise, I'm like, this could be fun with friends. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, well, Monster Hunter it's switched up. I was just talking about this too. My wife, she was trying to play I was trying to teach her Monster Hunter through playing Generations a couple weeks ago. Shit. I was like, yeah, because she wanted to get more into playing actual games. I was like, I think you would like this one. And she just couldn't get it. Like, she was like, no, why do I have to... My pickaxes break? What? And I forgot, Generation Ultimate is the old school Monster Hunter. Like, compared to new... Like how you said, Rise. So you can't really get into it. Because if you hop online, everybody just hops in mid-quest, beats up the monster, leaves. Like, yeah, it feels hop in, hop on. But back in the day on Monster Hunter, there used to be a thing to where you can still join a quest. And if you're not at the door by the time the host leaves, you can get left for the quest. Like, yeah, that was a thing, but that's not a thing anymore. So kind of, for me, playing Monster Hunter multiplayer isn't fun anymore because of that. Because it's like I'm not feeling the same sense of wonder that I had of being like, we can't hunt a monster this round. We got to just go get some material so I can make some more potions.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the thing about it too. Games, I think the more people, well, maybe it's not, you just need a specific type of group that really wants to be immersed. I'm not talking about like role playing, like people that are like, yeah, I'm really a wizard.
People that work at the same pace that you work at.
Yeah, and people aren't trying to optimize the fun out of it. People that aren't trying to like demystify or de-gamify it. Like, I want people
not looking up guides and walkthroughs.
Yeah, like just like let's all just figure it out together and we'll have fun and take it slow and not like fucking ruin the whole experience. But like that might be asking for a lot. Some people just want to play it the way they want to play it. Like, I want to get into the meta. I'm gonna do this one not because it looks cool or I like it, but because it's the best build. It's like, oh, right, okay, dude.
Or even like the dedication to play the game all the way through.
Yeah.
And not just playing for one night and then, we're going to go back to playing this or we're going to go play this.
2K,
yeah. Yeah. That's the main problem I have with my friend group. We were just having this conversation where they were like, no, nigga, you are a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I just play my 2K and my Call of Duty and or whatever other shooting game I want to play for the time, and that's it.
I know, it's crazy.
I don't need to play nothing else. And I'm sitting here like, hey, we should play this. Hey, we should play this. This is 4-player co-op. Like, even now, I'm thinking about doing the old disc swap at GameStop just to play Borderlands 2 with them. When you buy the same game that you already have, swap the disc because your disc isn't working, and then return the game. You've never done that before?
No.
Yeah.
Wait. So okay. Wait. Walk me through it real quick. Hold on. Maybe. Okay. Walk me through this.
So you go into GameStop. You go.
Right.
Pick up this game. Maybe you pick up another game that you actually want to pick up.
Okay.
You go home. Come back a day or two later, and you go. Yeah, the disc wasn't working on this one. My fault. Can I get a refund? Because if it was used, you can get a refund in 7 days.
Oh, yes, I've done that. I had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's disc swapping? Okay.
But that's what I used to do. I used to buy the same game that I already had. If it didn't work, then I would swap the disc and be like, here you go. You guys get to scratch your one. Yeah. Just so I could have the game and have a disc that actually works.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's how, I mean, being broke as fuck when I was young and still being broke. I feel like that's how you had to play games. I remember having to do that and them catching on. Not at GameStop, it was like a different game store where you had 7 days, right? It was all used shit that they had.
Oh, you're talking about using it as like a rental.
Yeah, pretty much like I'm going in and
I'm gonna get this game. I'm gonna return it on the 6th day. I don't care if I
on the 6th day. Yeah.
I used to do that. That was my Blockbuster. After Blockbuster closed, I was like, look, we got 6 days to beat this game. I gotta go.
Yeah, there really should be more game rental places. I mean, there's GameFly. I don't know if GameFly's still doing good or what, but
I don't know.
Yeah, is GameFly still fucking?
Is it? Now that you said that, hold on.
Now I'm kind of curious.
Is GameFly still alive? Yeah, GameFly is still running, bro. On who?
You would think they would have like a good subscription thing going on or something, or maybe they might.
Maybe they do. Can you? Yeah, they sell stuff now.
Since we're on the topic of games, let's talk about like what we've been playing.
I know we both been playing Alan Wake.
Yeah, I think I beat it. Damn, it kind of feels like a while since I beat it. Now that I think, well, I don't even like. It was probably like the end of September that I beat it. Maybe after the first status check. And dude, Alan Wake is. That's a good ass game.
It's a good ass game, bro.
Like
great ass game.
So, you're like the first level. You are on the ferry. You're heading into town. I forget the name of the town already. I've forgotten a lot of details about Alan Wake already. But you head into town, and then you stop at a cafe, dude. The whole vibe of this scene, like, I just think it's so masterfully done on like 3 different levels, like layers to it. So you go in, and in that cafe alone is every side character that's going to be important to the entire plot of the game, and you don't even know it, and that's what makes it so much sweeter. Like, you get there and you're talking to these characters and they're already interesting on their own. You're like, oh cool, there's going to be like an interesting cast, or at least side characters in this cafe, or I guess a diner or whatever.
Yeah,
you have the cop, you have the waitress, you have the 2 old gentlemen, you have the old lady that's scared of the dark. It sets up everything, and you just aren't even aware of it, but it's great foreshadowing, all in one scene. And then also just the tone of it, the town, just the way it feels. Like, there's this eeriness, this sort of like Twin Peak kind of vibe to it. I think when you get to the back, I think you're stopping to like get a set of keys.
For the cabin at the time.
Yeah, and you're going to the back, and there's like a hallway, and the lights are flickering on and off, and there's a woman there, and she's like, I keep telling them that don't go in there. I keep telling them to make sure the light bulbs are, changed and all this, and it adds like a whole layer of horror, and you're like, what the fuck's wrong with this crazy lady? But then it turns out like, by the end of the game,
she was dead ass.
Yeah, she was serious. Like there was a reason, I just love the whole, like, that whole sequence was probably like one of my favorite. I want to say one of my favorite pieces of game and narrative design that I just feel like was so brilliantly done, because none of it is done in cutscenes. It's all endemic. You're walking around, you're talking to them. You could not talk to them at all. You could just go straight walking back. Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you watch all of the TV channels?
The Twilight Zone TV channels? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I didn't. I think I accidentally missed a few because I didn't get the trophy for it. Or whatever, but I watched a good amount. I tried to, but
you didn't do it in Control. I'm so sick at you.
But hold on. So, just real quick, I don't know if you know, but I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone, by Rod Serling. I don't know if you know, like if you're familiar.
No, you never mentioned this. This is new to me. That's what I was like.
This is. I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone, and I think I'm also just a fan of Rod Serling and like what he brings in his media, like the sort of anthology. I guess maybe most people now would recognize it as like the sort of Black Mirror-esque type content where it's like trippy, kind of weird. Something's off or off kilter. There's going to be some sort of twist. I love that shit. And he did a series called Twilight Zone and Night Gallery later on. And they have like these... They're just vignettes, like 30-minute, maybe sometimes an hour episodes of this weird shit that says something about humanity, or just like creative way that you can write something. There's a lot of like historically important and influential episodes that come from that show, The Twilight Zone, and they've influenced so much media, especially like someone like Jordan Peele, like in his writing. And what's funny is I think Jordan Peele even hosted the remake or
Yeah, I think he did do a reboot for
Twilight Zone. Yeah, but I don't think it did well. I think people just have a different appetite.
Yeah. I think it was because of
Black
those
Mirror,
Paramount Plus things.
That's true. Yeah, it might have been locked behind some sort of streaming service. But I think that Black Mirror is sort of filling that void. That people still have that appetite, you know. And there's a different culture now, a different sense of, especially it's more. A lot of Black Mirror is more sci-fi, more post-humanism, transhumanism sort of stuff going on there. But yeah, like Twilight Zone, dude, was. There's this episode. Let me just get in here with this. So, dude, there's an episode called "The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street," and this episode is basically about a suburban town, and all the power goes out, all the radio waves. Like, there's no communication available, no phones, radio, nothing like that. Obviously, this is like the 1950s. So it's not like they have cell phones or anything, right? So they're all just hanging out. They notice that light bulbs aren't working, cars aren't turning on, and they're like, you know, they all come out of the cul-de-sac. They're like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go into town, but my car won't start. I mean, I was gonna check with the power company, but I can't call them." And they're like, "Well, I can go into like the next neighborhood," and then they're all sort of like kind of freaking out because they don't have their electronics, their shit, right? And I think this is a testament to the writing too, because it really speaks to a just innate human thing, regardless of the generation that you're in. So they're starting to freak out, and there's a kid. He's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if we should leave our neighborhood." And they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I read in a comic book essentially that they don't want us to leave, you know, like the minute we leave, they'll abduct us, and they're running experiments on how we're gonna react. You know, they're watching us." And everybody's like,
he said, "Here's a plot."
And everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, dude, this kid. Well, we're gonna believe this kid now. Let's figure this out. You know, what's going on?" And then he, like the little kid, sows in even more like superstition in them. He's like, "Well, in my comic book, they also said that they sent someone ahead to sort of be implanted in our community to sort of scope us out." Yeah, so then they start to get suspicious, and then one of them's like, "Yeah, I noticed that at night this nigga like be coming out and he's like staring at the stars." And he's like, "I have insomnia, like I don't know." So like this whole game of like, "Well, it's you're the one who's doing this," and I don't know if it's on YouTube, but you got to like just watch it.
I'm gonna find it
because I don't want to spoil it, but it's like so fascinating, the psychology and the psychosis, the suspicion, all because we don't have technology, and like how we start to freak out when things aren't in a routine, you know, when things aren't normal. We start to like, well, who's causing it? What's causing it? You know, it's very fascinating. Very, very good episode. It's like a literary and like just filmic masterpiece. Like, it's so awesome. And there's a lot of other ones. Like, there's ones that talk about what we perceive as beauty and what real beauty is. And if it's just like a social agreement that we all agree that beauty looks like this versus the other thing. There's so many episodes about.
It's a social agreement.
Like there's
nobody was talking shit about asses until 2006.
until Kim Kardashian, until hip hop, really.
Until they said, "Damn, that booty fat." All right, we'll do it.
We'll do it then. All right, yeah.
Alan Wake. But I feel like Alan Wake. It does scratch though a couple of those itches, but I think that was also one of the things that Remedy does best is.
Yeah.
They do situational horror very well. A lot of the times, I'm not thinking about the overarching, this shit is weird. I'm thinking about the moment to moment, like, oh, snap. Whoa, that fucking pipeline picked up and is coming at me. Mm-hmm. I have to shoot it with the shadows. Like, the very first Axeman was probably the scariest Axeman out of all of them in the game. And I was like, oh my God, this shit is scary. And even gameplay-wise, I feel like Alan Wake is, let alone from what it does from just an environmental standpoint and story standpoint. It's also a very good game.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Apparently, there's like a good amount of criticism about the gameplay, but I'm like, this is perfect for what it is. Like, it feels good. I do think the camera is a little wonky. Like, it wants to center your character in a way. I'm like, I want to keep him like Resident Evil style, right? I want him to be to the left. Yeah, so I had to keep adjusting the right stick. But like, it was very simple, very precise. Like, they had a vision for the gameplay and they executed it. They didn't bog it down with like all these RPG mechanics or like all this other shit. They like kept it simple and it does it very well and it serves its purpose. And it's actually pretty fun. Like, it feels, especially on the PS5, like the triggers and like it's good. It feels good. It feels good as fuck.
And by the time that we drop this video, how do you feel about Alan Wake 2?
So after Alan Wake 1, I decided, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna really look into Alan Wake 2. I'm gonna play the Control DLC. Fuck, I might not even have time now that I think about it, because Spider-Man 2 comes out. We're recording this on the 14th of October. Spider-Man 2 comes out in 6 days.
Alan Wake comes out in 13. It's just like, fuck, man. Too many games, man.
Not only that, but I started, we could talk about this later, but I started the Ascent, and it's fucking badass. I'm like, the Ascent is incredible. I don't know why we were sleeping on this one, but
I'm about to say, because I don't even know what it looks like.
Dude. Yeah, we'll talk about it right now. But Alan Wake 2, I've seen like the E3 trailer, maybe? And then I've seen a little bit of gameplay, like screenshots.
I've been keeping myself as blind as possible. All I know is
I'm like, I don't
know nothing.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I want to stay away from it. I know there is some like Control isms in it, some visual like stuff like that isn't Control, like the way when enemies die they have that like purple like almost like
the mist smoke.
Yeah, the mist. Yeah, it's like they're made of gasoline or something, like
yeah,
like that fuels the oil or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta play that Control DLC.
Did you already play it?
Yeah, I already played it before. I played it before I played Alan Wake. So,
how did they? Like, what did you like? Does it add to it? What do you think?
It does. It adds a lot. That's what made me go like, okay, the RemedyVerse is connected. Everything makes sense. I gotta go back and play Max Payne. Like, there's a lot of shit in that makes me go like, whoa, maybe this is all, because even the Thomas Zane. And how Thomas Zane is actually Alan Wake in an alternate reality.
What the?
You didn't get that?
No, you know what? No, that's not true. I did think about that, but I didn't. It wasn't confirmed in my mind. I was just like, oh, is that what they're trying to say? Oh well, and I just kept. Trotting along. Okay.
Yeah, that's essentially what the Control DLC is pretty much saying, is that like the Bureau's hit on like Alan Wake and the entire events of what happened in Alan Wake 1. And it kind of sets up like, okay, now what's going to happen for Alan Wake 2. So.
Fuck, I might have to replay Devil May Cry. I might have to replay Control.
That's why I was like interested in Alan Wake, because I just remember Alan Wake from way back in the day, playing it on Xbox Live and being like, yeah, that was cool. But then playing it again after playing the Control DLC, then everything started sticking out to me now more. I'm like, wait a minute, what's an anomaly? Which one of these is going to get contained?
You know what other scene in Alan Wake that I liked a lot too? The moment when they're like walking, they are in the trailer park and they're going to that girl's house or whatever. Yeah, and they're just like walking and like just that whole vibe. Like, how many games are there where you're in a trailer park? Like, you're just kind of, I mean, aside from maybe like GTA 5 where, you know, you have what's his face, but like just the vibe there and going to her house and the landowner, or I don't know who he was. I think he was like the landowner.
And just having that walk of just exposition.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, that's weird. She never really has anybody. She's a sweet girl. What are you guys really here for? And like, I don't know. I was like, this is so interesting. It's
tense.
Very good storytelling.
It's very tense.
Yeah, tense. And I loved his best friend Barry.
It makes me so mad. Alan Wake is in Fortnite right now, right? There's a Fortnite skin for Alan Wake. And they don't have a fucking Barry skin, bro. Like, what? You just give me just Alan Wake? Where's Barry? I need the big puffy jacket. Where's my boy at?
Yeah. I loved when he had all the lights wrapped
attached to him.
He's like, I'm ready. That was so like Spielbergian. Like,
I was so mad. I was
90s
like,
movie.
You can give me a headlamp. Come on, man.
This is my story, yeah. But Alan Wake, it was genius. I think it might be in my top 10 games of all time. At least,
think about this.
No. So I would say like moments, like there are just
okay. You gotta okay. You
top
redeemed
10
yourself.
Moments. Like there are some great. Okay, I think about like the moment. Like there's some. I would say BioShock is probably in my top 10 actually, right? But BioShock also has some like the most artful and like poignant moments in gaming design and just history, right? Like this moment is what makes such a great game. It's like this marriage between gameplay and narrative where it's like they're both equal, you know, like
yes. And I know the exact moment you're talking about that makes it because it recontextualizes the entire game. After you get that, you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of moments in both that and BioShock Infinite even. I don't think BioShock Infinite is in my top 10, but it's really good still. But yeah, I think everybody needs to play Alan Wake. This is a game that it has aged like fine wine. I think a lot of people it's one of those games that is almost better now than when it came out, maybe because the appetite was different.
And especially because it has more to it in the background, especially with Alan Wake 2. I feel like a lot of people are going to just go into Alan Wake 2 blind, thinking that it's going to have a previously
Why would people
a video.
Do this?
I don't know. I don't know. They think it's like Resident Evil 2 or something like that. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. You're not even going to play as Alan Wake, thinking like that.
Well, I guess that's true. There are a lot of games that it's like you don't even have to play the first one. It's like don't even bother, just jump in the second one. That I guess that kind of checks out. There are a lot of games, a shit ton of games actually, where the second one is like just far better, and you don't even need to play the first one. Mass Effect 2, you do not need to play the first Mass Effect. I'm sorry.
I'm about to play the first Mass Effect. Like, please. I have to.
I'm telling you, you don't have to.
Why?
But I don't know. I haven't.
Next status check and be like, man, Mass Effect is fire.
Well, to be fair, I've not played the first one, so I don't know. It could be like really good, but I know that I jumped in with Mass Effect 2 and I was perfectly fine because they do a lot of explaining and all that shit. So I don't know. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. What else have we been playing? So we both been playing Alan Wake.
I've been playing. Speaking of social gaming, hopped into Warframe.
I'm done. Just kidding. I'm fucking done.
I don't know. Something intrigued me. I think specifically there was they did like one of those updates. TennoCon. I don't know what they do. They just have one of those moments where you just see a bunch of Warframe news, and there was like Warframe 1999, and I don't know if you know, but the old game Dark Sector is a prequel to Warframe.
No, I did not know that until you told me, and that is really weird. But
it's incredibly weird. So it's weird to see them go back to be like, okay, now let's finally fully explain how we got from there to here. Especially after playing Warframe. Warframe is so weird. I don't know, man. I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to like it because I've explained it like this. ARPGs and Muso games are the exact same thing, just change the camera angle. You're both just there to kill thousands of enemies, get loot.
ARPGs, okay.
Level up.
Yeah. Action
get
RPGs.
Bigger skill,
So you're talking about like I guess Diablo's an action RPG.
Yeah.
We've talked
Destiny,
about this,
The Division, Diablo, Warriors games, they all fit that same niche. And I think Warframe is also that same niche to where it's like, I'm just here to kill a bunch of shit and be overpowered and swipe and kill 1,000 enemies in one button and get loot and maybe level some shit up and destroy some shit.
I do feel like, yeah, you're right. The main difference with Musos and RPGs is that there are no builds in, or at least you don't get to make your own build. Each character is the build. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And that's how Warframe is.
I've tried to get into Warframe on multiple accounts. When it first was released to the PS4, and I had a PS4, I was like, oh, this shit looks cool. I remember what turned me off was the movement, game feel. This kind of goes back to what you asked in the Discord, which is like, what makes a game feel good?
This is one of those games that made me ask that question.
Yeah, this game doesn't feel good for me. And I remember I was like, I wanted to like it. I'm like, dude, this is cool. You're like a ninja type alien fucking
you can bullet time jump.
Yeah, like Witchblade style. Like, I'm just like, I want to like it, and I just could not get down with the gameplay. The movement, jumping. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
And that's the same issue I've been having while playing it. Because I can see where it gets better, especially as the more you level up. I'm sorry. Was that a comb?
Yeah, the mustache comb. You don't train your shit?
No, I just raw dog.
That makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
You have to, dude. If I don't train this bad boy, it gets like scraggly, and it just won't look good. You gotta especially because right now it's super long. I don't know if you can really tell.
Wow. I mean,
nigga.
I feel like a bitch. I feel like a bitch now. I'm like, no, bro, just be.
You gotta train it. Yeah, you get yourself a little comb. Train because you have like this guy. You gotta make sure you can comb that shit. Train it.
Matter of fact, here,
yeah. Take the.
No, like that's why I wanted to go back to the Division 2 mainly, just because Warframe's movement doesn't feel good. I like the groundedness of the Division's movement, running to cover, having to sit there, having to hunker up and shoot out. It feels good shooting the guns and feeling the recoil. A lot of the times in Warframe, I would shoot the guns, I wouldn't even tell if I was doing anything, and then I would just slice them with a sword or do my little superpower moves and stuff. And especially even running is just slide, double jump, fly. It feels weird. It feels good because you're moving fast, but it just feels weird.
I remember, I haven't played it, but I remember it not. I'm sorry, I haven't played it recently. I have played the game, but I remember it feeling very weightless and your character not having any real gravity or sense of momentum. Like they move fast, but it felt like you were moving like a paper mache character
on ice.
Yeah, on ice, yeah. And I was like, God, it's almost there for me. So I don't know if they've maybe improved that, but it sounds like
no, it feels the exact same. Because I was the same way like you, where I tried it a couple times. I tried it on PlayStation 4. I tried it on PC. And every time I put at least like 40, 50 hours in where I finish Earth, Venus, Mars. I think I get to like at most Jupiter. And then I'll be like, I'm falling off. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can't do it.
But it was cool. Like you had the ship. I remember, right? You had the ship. The customization was a bit weird for me. I think it was.
Yeah, I just don't like the designs of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know and I did watch your Warframe. Okay, explain to me what Warframe 1999 is.
I don't know. We don't know either. It's kind of like, but it does take place in the year 1999. Though Warframe takes place way in the future.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so that's where I'm thinking the Dark Sector ties come in, because the dude in Dark Sector becomes a Warframe. And oh my God, we gotta cut this out because somebody's gonna be like, bro, you spoiled me. Because there is
spoilers.
We're just chop this out. This is a marker here for you. Chop this out. Right. But I'm gonna tell you the spoiler for Warframe. In Warframe, you go through the story, you're just doing basic generic shit, and you get story missions every now and again. Eventually, there's a story mission that you do where you find out the revelation that the Warframes are being controlled telepathically. Yeah. And you save yourself. And then you hop out. This person pops out of this pod. And you pick them up. And then it goes into character customization. And you make your own, human. And that's who is controlling the Warframes. And you have a separate psychic power. So you can hop out of your Warframe. Yeah. Do psychic shit. Shoot your own guns. Do everything yourself. And have a different Warframe. And he's doing psychic stuff by himself. So it opens up the game after that. There's a whole nother section of just why
does that sound so familiar? Huh. That's in Warframe the game, right?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Maybe I cut it because some people don't it's nice to know if you don't already know. But I got spoiled the last time I played. Somebody just a kid walked up to me. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" It's just a random player, and he's just walking around as the person. I'm like, "What the fuck? You can get out the shell? What?"
Yeah. So it's a pretty vibrant community still then?
Yeah, it's a pretty vibrant community. I'm in a clan. I joined the clan. I'm trying my hardest to actually communicate and speak and being like, "Hey guys, welcome," but I just can't do it, man. Every time I open the game and I see that trade chat and it just spams, it's just looking for all these acronyms, I just go, just give me the division, bro. I'd rather just play the division with the homies and be like, "Oh, you got that loot, bro? Oh, that's cool." And then keep fucking rolling, bro.
What is something that you didn't like about the Division 2? Because for me, I think one thing that I remember not liking was that I felt there wasn't... It's like once you get to the main story campaign and maybe do some of the post DLC and content stuff, post content stuff like that, and there was a moment where I'm like, wait a second, these are all the same. There's like 6 guns in each category, and they just have like different perks. Like even the way they looked, you know, even though like maybe it was a different name. From what I remember, it was like the same model, but maybe it wasn't exotic, but it had different, you know, perks or whatever the fuck they had. Like it was part of a set, like a set or something.
Oh yeah.
But that's something that I didn't like. Where I was like, I wish there was like a more like even. I mean, you don't have to make it Borderlands 3 where like every gun like really fucking looks like a whole.
It feels different.
Thing, yeah. But I do remember that being sort of an issue that I ran into where I was like, I feel like because then like there was a specific action bolt gun that I liked a lot. It was like a rifle, I want to say, and I would always use it, and I would run into like a better version of it, but it was a different gun, supposedly. But I'm like, this is the same
and then
thing.
it would just change everything else. Yeah,
I'm like, this is the same gun model, but
that's kind of one of the things I like about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
like the limited
there's like
amount
specific guns, and it's just about getting the certain rolls and stuff like that. I like that because it makes it more simpler than being like, I got this sword, but this sword gives minus 20 intellect. Then
that's true.
Not knowing, because it's simple. It's just like, what did my gear give me? Is it going to give me damage? Is it going to give me armor? Or is it going to increase my skills? I like that it's simplified in that way. I think the only thing I don't like about the Division is that there isn't more 6-player content. Because there's the one raid. I think there's 2 raids now. But it's like, okay, that's it. Like, I wish that... And I know that the main point now of the Division 2 is you're going to farm, you're going to get your gear score up to this gear score, then you're going to hop and go to the next difficulty and increase. Because that's what you do in Diablo too, but... Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I had you and we just played that shit every night, like, hey, bro, you hopping on? All right, bro, we hopping on. Then I probably would, like, play it and get to those higher tiers. But if you're playing by yourself, it's like, why am I about to... Because every time you do it, it resets the whole map, and you got to redo everything again. It's like, I'm not about to do that by myself.
Yeah. Like seasonal, right? It's like the seasonal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, which is something that I knew, that's like something new I've learned, this whole seasonal aspect with Diablo like 3 and Diablo 4, where it's like, oh, a new season, you have to create a new character for this season. And I was like, oh, wait. What about the one I just spent 40 hours on? What are you talking about?
Exactly. That's the shit. I'd be like, I'm not trying to do that. I like that at least the Division is just like, okay, you're just going to get new cosmetics this season.
Right. Yeah. I like that a lot better.
Instead of, you got to make a whole new character. Unless it was hardcore. Like, hardcore servers, I like those. When it's like, you can't die. That's the only way I can play with these types of games. Well, action RPGs is that, like, you got to play it like a tactical.
When the risks are high?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're scary. Let's see. I've been playing... but stopped playing Sea of Stars, which is a 16-bit JRPG style game that recently came out, and it had been in development for quite a long time. I had been watching it closely ever since it was announced on Twitter, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say. And it finally came out, and man, this is an interesting thing because it did make me realize like what I like about JRPGs, but it also made me realize a couple of other things. One, it made me realize that a game really has to. I don't want to waste my time anymore on a game that's not going to show me any more new things, you know? Like, this game, I feel like once I got to about hour 15, I'm like, oh, okay. That's
I know everything about this game.
Now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend another 15 hours just repeat, rinse, and recycle. Especially because, I mean, like the moves that they learned and everything, they weren't exactly super exciting. There just wasn't much that changed the, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound like I need constant new shit in a game, right? But just the pacing and everything, I was like, yeah, I think I'm fine. I think I'm good. I don't think I need to finish this. This is gonna just be the same shit all the way till the end. And the story wasn't so compelling that I was like, oh, I need to see what the fuck happens.
I think that's the exact sentiment that I had when I played through Tales of Symphonia last year.
Okay.
I got to about the same point, hour 15, I was like, I don't really like this story that much to play for another 75 hours. And forcing myself to play through it, because at that time I was like, I gotta beat every game that I play. And forcing myself to go through an 80-hour JRPG of that, when hour 15, I was already like, I get the gist. It soured my experience on that. And it's good that you stopped, because you could probably come back later and be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like when, I think as you get older, you just really do have to decide, well, what do you want to spend your time on? You know, and I think Elise really taught me this, because I would just belabor the fact that I had to finish this game. I need to force myself through it. And now I'm fucking hating it. Now I just don't even want to play games because there's this game sitting over here and I know I need to finish it, but I don't even want to play it, but I don't want to play a different game because I need to finish this one, you know?
Exactly. I'm like, or I'm just going to not finish anything. I'm just going to play everything one time and never play
Exactly. It. Yeah. So you kind of, I feel like I was robbing myself of a lot of just experiences and games that would make me want to finish it, see it through the end. A good example is the Ascent, which is the next game, or the game I started playing after Sea of Stars.
This game reminds me a lot of Ruiner. Looking at the gameplay, it looks a lot like Ruiner, but with more in-depth customization and like gearing up. Is
Ruiner top down, or is it isometric?
It's not isometric. Ruiner is top down.
It's top down. Yeah. Ugh, the worst perspective.
It's more like 3/4. It's not like from what I've seen from the Ascent, it's like isometric, but Ruiner's kind of like, it's not all the way top down. It's not Hotline Miami, but it's,
yeah, that's like my least favorite perspective, I would say. Anyways, I
love X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends is isometric, not top down.
Bro, that's the same camera angle. Hold on. I might be tripping.
Yeah, you're tripping. Top down, I'm talking about like, so Hotline Miami, that angle?
Yeah.
I hate it. You think X-Men Legends is top down like that?
This is like the same camera angle as X-Men Legends.
What, the Ruiners? I haven't even seen what it looks like. So anyways, been playing the Ascent. Sea of Stars, by the way, it is a really good game. Very solid. There are some things that I learned about myself playing this game. One, I don't like when a JRPG is like streamlined to the point where it's like, there's a couple things that this game does to almost make it just like, all right, you barely have to do anything else aside from just move forward, and everything else is sort of like little small choices just to make it feel more like an RPG.
You like the micromanagement of it, where it's like, okay, I gotta equip him with this. I gotta make sure his skills are signed up like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it strips that away, which is fine. I don't think that's like bad. I think what they're doing makes sense. But they also strip away any lore that's maybe built into like there's no bestiary, there's no journal. There's nothing in there that really like you can refer back to. Like I love that shit in JRPGs when I can like look at what's maybe what we've been doing, or You know how Final Fantasy 16 they have the active time lore?
Yeah.
The best feature this generation like has ever
that
included.
Every game now needs.
Like that shit is brilliant. I love that, you know. And this game doesn't have any of that. Also, the menus are like it. They feel like it looks like Steam to me or something. Like the menus are like that flat blue, and I'm just like, wait, what? This game is like beautiful and colorful, but the menus seem just so like, well, you're not going to be in here anyways.
Yeah, this is just for a purpose. Yeah, this is utility. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that, and I think that really those are my biggest criticisms on it. Other than that, I think the bosses are fun. There's a lot of inventive use of just that whole style. But I swear to you that this game looked cooler back when I first saw it. Yeah, when I wasn't playing it. When I played it, I was like, wait a second. This doesn't look as good as I remember. But then I think I might have got this game confused with the Ayuden Chronicles game.
Oh, yeah.
I think I got those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Ayuden Chronicles. Year. Yeah, because I know I can be disappointed next year with that one. Because Ayuden Chronicles has more of that Octopath Traveler pixel look to it, where it's like depth of field, blurry. There's atmospheric bloom. Yeah, Sea of Stars does not have that, unfortunately.
So, would you say that overall the game felt good though to play?
Yes, combat is really really fun. Yeah, it's like super. Like there's a couple cool mechanics within combat that work beautifully. There's this mechanic that I think that a lot of games should have, which is when you get attacked by an enemy, you can press your block button or whatever just in time to like reduce the amount of damage you take.
Like on some Eternal Sonata.
Which is good. I love that.
Yeah, this shit was fine. I love it when it worked.
And I mentioned that too because I feel like I'm jumping all over the place here, but I feel like I started playing Honkai Star Rail on the PS5 because that came out a couple days ago. I don't know if I told you this.
How much money have you put in that game right now? Tell me. Don't lie to me.
I haven't put any money into it. It's free.
Just making sure.
So, yeah, Sea of Stars is great. I think you should play it. Maybe if you're not familiar with like those 16-bit JRPGs, this is like a great place to start. I think I might get Elise to try and play it. I don't know. This feels like a good beginner JRPG where it's pretty streamlined and it's simple enough.
What would you classify as a beginner JRPG? Because off the top of my head, I have a good 4.
Whoa, really? Oh shit. A good beginner JRPG. Let's say so it's not like when we got into JRPGs, we played the easy stuff first. But I think for someone like my girlfriend or other people like her who have played games but like are unfamiliar in their adult lives with like some of the micromanaging, the numbers, some of like the way you want to build maybe a certain character or what character you might want to use. That kind of stuff is intimidating to her. Like, you know, playing Diablo,
you just turn your brain off and press buttons and you can go. It might not work from time to time, but you can figure it out.
There's a couple of difficult bosses in Diablo, and we struggled, and we had to retool our characters multiple times. So we would like lose, and I'm like, okay, babe, you need to take that shit off and put it into this skill. She's like, what? Why? I'm like, because we're dying here, and so we need something to protect us while I'm casting this. Like,
yeah,
you know,
when you start having to do the strategy, and she's like,
yeah. She's like, well, you should have been the barbarian, so we could. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. We just need to re-kit here. Like it's fine, you know. So she doesn't really like she doesn't like that whole aspect, or she's not familiar with it. It's too overwhelming for her because there are a lot of concepts that take some time to get used to. I think. I mean, it took me a long time to grasp a lot of the idea of like
that pre-planning.
You know, yeah. So, anyways, I think Sea of Stars is simplified enough. You don't have to manage anybody's level. The characters are doled out to you at a very slow pace. You don't get overwhelmed. You can switch out the characters at any time. Which I guess is like a la, you know, Final Fantasy X, because you could do that in that game. And then it's not easy to get lost, although I did get stuck at one point. But if you're just paying attention, you kind of know where to go. I feel like it's the game. I don't want to insult it, but it does feel a little bit on the rails. Like,
which is good.
like
I dig that. I dig that because there's certain JRPGs where you could just be like, bro, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
So I dig it. Yeah, I'd say that's very beginner friendly, especially because you don't have to think, like you said, you can just unga bunga it and still feel like you did a JRPG. Kingdom Hearts is one of those ones I was gonna say is very beginner friendly. Kingdom Hearts, Musashi, Indivisible.
Wait, you think Kingdom Hearts? You would, I guess, JRPG ish. Yeah. Okay. I'll let that one go.
And what you
what
mean?
Else?
It's like nah. And
well, because okay. Kingdom Hearts
and Pokemon.
Yeah, there's Pokemon. Pokemon is a good one for sure. Wait, what else did you say after Kingdom? After I was so stuck on Kingdom Hearts. What else did you say?
Now you got me second. Kingdom Hearts, Musashi.
Musashi Samurai Legend.
Samurai Legend. Yeah, Samurai Legend is the one we played. And I said another one. I forgot.
Yeah, those are like JRPG lights, I guess you could say.
Yeah, to where it's almost a JRPG in the sense that you're going to get the same feeling that you're going to get from playing any other JRPG, but you're not going to have to do the most when it comes to character builds and stuff like that. Like, it gives you the ability to min-max and do character builds like Musashi, where it's like, I'm going to focus on attack, I'm going to focus on luck, I'm going to focus on this.
Right.
But
right.
It's not going to matter if you put all your stats in the luck at the end of the game. You're still going to be able to complete the game.
Yeah, right. When I think about an easy JRPG or something that someone could get into and be like, oh, okay, I get the sort of gist of it. Final Fantasy X is pretty on rails as well. That's a good one for people.
Just like
there's not a lot of,
Just walk forward.
Yeah, just exactly. There's not a lot of party management. There's a lot of skill stuff, but yeah, you don't have to worry too much about. I guess there's some party management. It's definitely it's a good place to start, I would say. But yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe there doesn't need to be a JRPG beginner kind of thing. Maybe just throw someone in there and be like, do you like these mechanics or don't you? Because if you don't, then you're not going to like this genre.
It's Dark Souls. It's literally Dark Souls. FromSoft games. You got it. It's not no jump in at Dark Souls. You got to play Demon Souls or Bloodborne first. Just hop in, and if you fuck with it, it's gonna click. If not,
if not, then you're lost.
Yeah, you can try another one, I guess.
Although I know for me that Souls games, I don't know, man.
Man, I love the challenge. I love the thrill. The thing about the game is now, after beating them this year, after finally getting through a bunch of them this year, now I'm like, okay, I could probably get through the rest of them. Now the task doesn't feel as Herculean anymore.
Yeah. The Ascent, I think it's a game. I don't know if it's a game that you would like. I don't really know, but it's a twin stick shooter essentially, and I just think it does a really good job at world building. It's the only PS5 game that I've ever played that almost utilizes the controller, the DualSense Edge. It utilizes it to the best degree. I'm trying to think of another game that uses it as well as this game. It feels like an arcade game playing this game because you got the gun sounds, the reload sounds coming out of here. Every menu has haptic feedback. It just feels really immersive, I guess. It feels like you're playing at arcade, those games where you have a gun and it just as you're shooting,
you can feel the recoil and back and stuff. That's how I love Time Crisis, because you feel that gun every time.
Yeah. So it's a lot like that. You might like it, and there's a lot of fun little customization. It's Diablo-esque, but not too heavy in the percentages and numbers, stuff like that. It's so good. It's like what I wanted. It actually exceeded my expectations because I thought it was gonna be a level based thing. Okay, level 1, and then I thought it was gonna be far more linear, which I didn't mind, right? But there's a whole world, and it's fucking beautiful. It's a really good looking game from afar. I mean, granted, you don't get to be, first person looking around, but there's so much to look at. It's just super detailed. The world is very inspired. especially if you like cyberpunk type shit, or if you like Ghost in the Shell. Like it's a lot like that world, and it's just fucking good. I mean, like the story's kind of whatever. Like it's definitely really sci-fi, very futuristic. They're talking about a lot of shit that you might not know of, and they have like a encyclopedia for you to refer to. I don't really care about it too much, but it's interesting enough to keep me going. But it just feels so good to play, dude. Like being swarmed by enemies, it's pretty difficult too. There's like a cover system, which is
that's
interesting because
you can't. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so you press I think one of the triggers to essentially get on to crouch, and then you can get behind something and then press another button to just shoot over it. So it's pretty tactical. It's cheap too. I would fucking pick it up right now.
Listen, I got Hi-Fi. I got Midnight Suns.
Oh, you got both of them?
No, I'm saying like I still got to.
Well, Midnight Suns. Play that when you know you have a good chunk of time. Right now, I think this is a good time to buy it. Midnight Suns is like...
I'll put it on the Christmas list. Hopefully somebody buys it.
There you go.
And be like, oh,
I'll buy it for you for Christmas.
Midnight Suns. Yeah. He just gives me your copy. Like, here, nigga, take it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll pick it up for you as a Christmas gift. But I don't know. But I don't even know if you'll like it. I had a lot of... I have a toxic relationship with Midnight Suns. Like I like it,
card games. I like XCOM games. That's all I need. It's card based and it's XCOM based. I think I'll fuck with it. I've just been waiting. I feel like there's certain games that I just wait for it to go under $20 before I'll be like, I don't want to pay $70, especially now because you gotta pay $70 for a game. Mm-hmm. Some of these hoes ain't even worth $60. So it's like, I'll wait on it.
Yeah, I think we're wising up too. It's like, I think I could wait until this game goes down to like Gotham Knights was one I was like getting that day one, baby. Day one, I'm there. And then the day comes, I'm like, I don't know, man. These reviews, I don't know.
I'll wait on it.
Yeah, and then now it's like free. I think it's free on PlayStation Plus now.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, if you want to play,
I'm gonna jump in.
Hey, if you want to play,
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Have you seen those menus though?
Yeah, let's do it, bro. Are you excited for Suicide Squad in 2 months? That's gonna be the same shit.
Is it coming out in 2 months? I feel like they're gonna push it back.
I don't know. It's probably gonna be pushed back to like June something, maybe February 2nd. But so far, February 2nd, it's coming out. They haven't said it's not. Though we haven't seen no gameplay. But anyway.
So, so the Ascent, I think, that's also a co-op game, by the way. So if you want to play online, they good. That's a cheap one. That's a cheap one. Yeah, I love it. I think that might, as far as our front of the rack games or our, the games that we played this year, this is a contender for best game I played this year. Maybe. Hogwarts Legacy was pretty fire, so I don't know. What else?
That came out this year? Damn. This has been a fucking year, bro. This has been a year.
Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Hogwarts Legacy, Diablo 4,
Tears of the Kingdom,
Tears of the Kingdom, fucking
Baldur's Gate,
Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16. Like this year, we've been
gross.
Like
it's gross. That's a lot. It's a lot.
It's so ugly. Yeah.
And we still.
It feels like we've. Yeah, we still got Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2. There's some shit in...
Yeah, and Midnight Suns and
Avatar.
Rush, those are ones I want to go back to play. But those came
the
out
Avatar game's coming out.
Forspoken.
And something else is coming out, too. But yeah, Forspoken came out this year. Your favorite game of the year.
Hey, listen, man. One Piece came out this year. Forspoken was a good game.
Oh, shit. I
forgot about One Piece.
What
that's a JRPG you will actually fuck with. That's a really fun JRPG. It never gets dull, like playing it because of the battle system. It just has these like dynamic missions, and because it chooses your party members randomly when you start a battle. So you'll start a battle and it'll be like Luffy, Sanji, and Chopper for some reason, but you can just swap them out on the fly. And certain like random events will happen. Like Chopper will be scared because he'll be surrounded by enemies. So it's like you got to save Chopper in 3 turns and get a power boost.
That's cool.
Or if you don't, then does a bunch of damage. Or it's like, oh, so-and-so got injured. Now you need to heal them up to 75% health in a turn, or else the enemy gets a power boost. Like it's cool little dynamics like that.
Did you buy it physical? Cool. Send me your copy.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on, let me throw it through the screen. Here, catch.
Have you played or I'm sorry, I still need to play what the fuck game is it? Soul Hackers 2. I bought that. It's still
I still
in
need to play
like,
Tales of Arise. It's still in its.
Oh.
I didn't play none of those games from that GameStop sale. I just bought them and was like,
one day.
Gotta get this sale.
All right, it looks like you've been playing Devil May Cry. You've been playing it, right?
Yeah, I finally finished. I got one more goal, just Mass Effect left, and then we're done for the year. I can truly say I did all that I can this year. I don't know about next year playing 80 fucking games, but yeah, I played through Devil May Cry 1 and 2 in one day, and I realized I'm not playing through the rest of this series. I really just want to play 5.
I thought you were already playing 5. If I was no.
Yeah.
Last status check, I thought you said.
Yeah, so I beat 5 a couple days ago, and still not my favorite. And this is where the game feel. This is where game feel comes in, because I don't know, man.
What is wrong with you?
Dante feels good. Dante. Okay. So let me tell you my history with Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is what started this character action journey, but it isn't my favorite series out of like character action games. It's some of my favorite games, but it's not like okay. So I played 4. Mm-hmm. So I was like a Nero baby. I like Nero. I like this little grapple arm and punching stuff. Any game where I get to punch stuff, I enjoy it. And I love Nero's playstyle. I love Dante's playstyle. I love the bosses in that game. And it made me go back. That's the first time, just like Resident Evil 5, it was like one of the only series that made me go, I want to play the rest of these games. And I played the Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 3, DMC. And I was excited for Devil May Cry 5, but I just never played it. But I owned it, but I just never... I bought it one of those Black Friday sales and just never played it. And I finally got around to it, and... yeah. This game feel...
Hold on.
V and Nero don't feel good to play. I don't like playing them.
Though, because if I recall... Let me just say this real quick. I swear you said... I've been editing Status Check 1, right? And I swear, I have to go back, but I'm like 100% sure you were like, Devil May Cry 5 is peak Devil May Cry. I swear you said something like that.
But see, that's before.
Did you feel more positively? And then you've changed? Did you feel like that from your impressions, and then you played it thoroughly, and you're like, okay.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, exactly. Because I've watched playthroughs, I watched the combo videos and stuff like that. And then the story, I still have no complaints. It is still, I agree, story-wise, it's still peak Devil May Cry. It's cool. It's just doesn't give a shit about lore or anything. It's just like, yeah, here's an excuse. Just do shit. And I like that. And I'm not necessarily, there isn't anything wrong or indicative of the gameplay. It's just specific characters and play styles that aren't me.
Sure. Yeah, and it does force you to play as certain characters at some point, right?
Yeah, and the characters that I do like playing, Dante and Virgil, they're always going to be fun to play with me because I've gone with them throughout the entire series. I know how they play. They play good in 3, they play good in 4, they play good in DMC, they play good in 5. Okay. But Nero was interesting to play in 4, and the way that his playstyle was recuperated. And that's not the word. See, oh my god, incorporated. And
I just let you cook. I'm just like, I'm sure he knows what he said.
Mom vomiting it out. How he's incorporated his playstyle in DMC with Dante's little whip and the angel and demon. I like that playstyle and how it felt with Nero, and I was like, okay, once Devil May Cry 5 comes out, they're going to do it justice. And Devil May Cry 5 came out, and I have this fucking Devil Breaker arm, and it's not fun to ever use. I don't like how that because it's finite. So every time you have all these cool powers and stuff, which I thought was novel at first, but because if you fuck up, you break your arm, or because you have to unlock from the enemy, press circle. Sometimes you can miss that entire move, and you have to. It just feels clunky to me. Same with V. Having to walk around and read the book while your things are attacking. I don't feel the impact. I don't feel like I'm actually attacking anything. I feel like I'm just there, which I guess it makes sense because he's a summoner. But I don't play Devil May Cry to summon monsters to fight for me. I play Devil May Cry so I can do cool dodges and beat the shit out of the monster myself. So anytime I play Dante, I was like, oh, I'm having a blast. This is the greatest shit ever. They did this shit perfectly. And then every time I would go back to the other two characters, I was like, never mind.
Did you play as Virgil in the DLC?
No, not yet. But I was going to buy it later. But yeah, I mean, I know he's going to play good. I love it. Cao Tai in Dynasty Warriors is my second favorite character. And I know in 3 and 4, it's summon your clone. I know it's going to be the exact same stuff. So I don't even got to play it. I know it's going to be good.
That's actually interesting that you mentioned about changing to V and his playstyle being very differently, and then you said that you don't play these games to not be moving quickly and slash and shit, right? Because he has a very different playstyle. This is actually something I've been thinking about in terms of video game pacing. So let me take a couple steps back here. So Spider-Man PS4, right? You play this game because you want to be Spider-Man, right? You want to feel heroic, you want the agility, you want the super strength, all that, the webs. And then the game strips that away, and it's like, no, you're going to play as Mary Jane, and you're going to sneak through this museum, sneak through this camp or whatever. And or you're going to play as Peter Parker now, and you're going to do these mini games where you're like these puzzles,
hacking,
essentially.
hacking and stuff.
And I've seen a lot of people having issues with these types of intrusions or interruptions in gameplay, right? Even with our recently played Dirge of Cerberus, where you play as Kate Sith for like one mission, right? And you're like completely like powered down and
no, what?
I guess I'm coming at it from two different angles, where there is the creative aspect of making a game, and you're like, okay, we want this person, our player, to be a powerful character, or they're playing this game because they want to feel like this, right? But I think for me as a creator, I would have been like, well, you don't want them to become numb to always being Spider-Man, to always being Dante, and having these abilities and all this shit. So what you do for pacing, it makes sense for me from a game design aspect, is to slow them down with a depowered character, typically, and this happens, like, you see this often, and it's sort of like a palate cleanser, where you're like, oh, okay, right, this is what it's like to basically not be kicking ass all the time.
Right.
This is why you have like stealth missions sometimes, in especially big games like this, where they switch you from Kratos to fucking what's his son's name? Atreus, yeah. So I think there is like a game design philosophy for why they do that. Why you're playing as Dante, quick and fast with his movements, but then they switch it up so that you have maybe an alternative to sort of complement, I would say, in some sense, in the pacing, as V, playing as V. That's why I think that happens. But I've been thinking about that a lot, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, why do you have to play as Mary Jane? Why do you have to like why can't I just stick to this? And I'm like, well, I think there really is an aspect of playing games where you have to sort of change the pace. You have to switch it up a little bit.
And I do agree with
that. To sort of break up the monotony.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Spider-Man, because the tension that you have playing as Miles Morales in the shipping containers, trying to run away from the Rhino, it helps amplify it later when you become Peter and you beat the shit out of Rhino. It helps it out, especially when that opens up in the second game. You go, okay, I understand what Rhino is and everything about it, and you're playing as Miles, who's still inexperienced as Spider-Man, so you still get to see the severity of Rhino compared to
it's all about especially it's all about perspective. I think if you're always playing as the powerful character, that's fun and that's what we come to the games for. But I think that you lose a little bit of what it's like to not be powered up in a way, let's say, or not be super fast or, whatever.
Because Dante is, compared to Nero, very powered up.
Yeah.
And Nero feels, I want to say, nerfed in kind of a sort compared to his Devil May Cry 4 counterpart. But, I mean, it still allows for Nero to have his own unique playstyle. Like, the way his gun reacts, the way he revs up his sword. Everything is different to Dante compared to Dante, who's a weapon master. Where Dante, you're using 6 weapons, 6 to 8 weapons, compared to Nero, you're only using your 2 weapons and the Devil Breaker arms. So I understood the mechanics, at least when it came to Nero, and especially because Nero still feels good to play. But just it just... The biggest thing for me was the feeling that I wasn't really hitting anything. I'm pressing triangle, but I'm not getting any reaction out of the game. And it might still be happening, and I see it. I see the little panther beating the shit out of the thing in the background, but I don't feel it. Like, when I use a stinger, my controller vibrates a little bit to hit the monster. When I'm hitting the monsters over there, I don't feel the vibration of
the feedback.
The monster. I don't feel that. So I'm just pressing triangle and square until eventually it turns blue, and I can stab it.
Yeah, it was hard playing as him for sure. I don't think I minded it too much, but I could see the the issue for sure. But yeah, let's. I'll just be quick on. I've also been playing the Quarry. I really wish that I should have planned this better. I just didn't know I was gonna like it or be into it as much as I am. We should have. You and Dev and me and Elise should have done like a recording of us playing through it and like walk through all of our. We could have made a video basically on it, where it's like you and her go through it and we cut it up on all the decisions you guys make and the differences between ours and just like our reactions to it. Because Elise was stressing. She's like, wait, no, if we do that, all right, just do it. And then she's like, fuck, now I fucking regret it. And I'm like, babe, I don't like. She's like, I don't like this game. This is so stressful. I'm like, babe, it's not that serious.
Yeah, those are the kind of games you gotta get her into. The Walking Dead, Detroit, all of David Cage's games, and especially like Until this is the Until Dawn session, but Man of Medan, the Dark Pictures anthology, all of those are It's just a full game series of no.
Yeah.
If I jump here, he's gonna die. But if I didn't jump here, he wasn't gonna die. But he looked like he was gonna die. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't actually played too many of these types of games with her.
You should play Detroit.
I don't know
next.
why.
You should play Detroit.
You know what we should play that we need to add to our BOTR list is Indigo Prophecy.
I thought I was on it. Huh?
Maybe
I didn't add it on there. Maybe I was like, nah.
Yeah.
But maybe that is one we should add on there. It's the very first.
Because it made me think of how much I do love these types of games, like, and how, like, they're less games but more like interactive movies. These things.
It's
like,
the evolution of like FMV games back in the day, like Night Trap.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's a very different genre, but it's fun, and this game looks so fucking good. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, damn. Like, the character models, they all have dead eyes, except for like a couple scenes. But when they actually look like they're looking at something, I'm like, holy fuck! Like that, you could almost mistake that for real. Almost, like it looks incredible.
Like if you were in the kitchen and you were looking over, like you'd be like,
exactly.
What movie is that?
Yeah, like, if you didn't know, and like even their movements for the majority, I think clothes. And how the like fabric moves and stuff, that's where you can kind of like, oh yeah, that's not real. But even the way like their bodies are moving, I'm like, that's
really shit.
That's solid. And the acting is solid. Dialogue's a little corny and sometimes doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's good. It's very fun. Great game for Halloween. It was. I wish I was like, damn. I just wish so much that I would have told you that we were playing it so that we could have like done like okay, what'd you guys choose for this? What'd you guys choose for But obviously, it's fucking too late now, nigger. All right.
I actually, I want to talk about this. This shit has been burning in my head.
Did you see what he responded?
That's what I was about to go see right now. I can't really do it because we're recording, but hold up. Let me see what Cade said.
To preface this, to give you guys a little primer on what we're talking about, in our Discord, me, Sondi, and one of our probably biggest fans, I don't know if I want to call him that. That sounds fucked up. We were essentially talking about music. We were talking about the music in games, what makes a good score, what makes something catchy, things like that. And he said something that really piqued Sondi's interest, which is basically that scores aren't as memorable as tunes. Now, the way I interpret those definitions of scores and tunes, I think is very traditional. Like, I think Cade has a different idea of what these things are. And so when he said that, it makes sense for him saying that scores aren't as memorable as tunes. And I told him to define, like, well, what do you mean by scores and what do you mean by tunes? And for him, from what I understand, he says that scores essentially are atmospheric tracks, things that are in the background of a movie, game.
That build the ambiance of everything.
Yeah, and that are usually longer pieces. So we're talking like 6-8 minute tracks or more, right? And then tunes are 1.5 to 4 minutes, catchy, are in your face. Yeah, and I would have to disagree. Scores aren't as memorable as tunes. That doesn't make sense to me. That's kind of like saying music isn't as catchy as a song. That's exactly what that's kind of saying. A score basically is just like, okay, a score is an OST, essentially. That's what you're saying. It's synonymous with that. Yeah, scores are basically just like the collection of tracks within a body of music, within a body of original soundtrack music or something. So the Sonic, the Sonic Frontiers score that you put up, that's a score, and it had all those tracks in it, and and some of those are tunes within the score. You know, that's just what it is. You can say that they serve a different purpose. Like, obviously some are more orchestral, you know, but that's it's still a part of the score, right? Like, it's still like
I'm trying to think of I know, because I was on the same wavelength with what he's saying, as in score. Yeah, because you're right. You are correct. Scores are the entire soundtrack. That the OST is the score. I guess more so, it's not the right word, but from our understanding, me and Cade's, it's a score is, yeah, like we said, the ambiance, sometimes most of the time is orchestral in nature. Right. But mostly it's I don't even want to say filler music, but like, it's just the background music. It's the stuff that you hear, but you don't think about. It just sets the tone. Whereas a tune is like those Sonic Frontier songs that I'll link, where if I play that shit in the whip, you're not going to know that's a video game song. That's just a song. And
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I understand it, but we're probably using the wrong words.
I get what he's saying, and I think so. Okay, this is, I think, a good example of what he's saying maybe applies to the Black Panther soundtrack, and then the Kendrick Lamar Black Panther inspired by the soundtrack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a Black Panther. I mean, for people that don't know, there was the Black Panther soundtrack, which was the score to the movie, right? Which had a theme, which was catchy, and it had other pieces of music within that score that were more subdued. You know, there was some hip hop elements. There were African instruments used. Some very some superhero genre conventions, right? And it's self-contained. But then you had the inspired by the movie Kendrick Lamar album, or Is it a Kendrick Lamar album? I don't know if you would consider it that.
I wouldn't call it that. But it is like a Black Panther themed album of like, we made these songs about Black Panther and we are celebrating, or we're going to mention stuff like that SOB song where you're like, I was raised in the field, something like a Black Panther. Like,
yeah. With that song. My favorite line from that song, and he's like, these niggas acting real tough, but they real kind.
It's the way he says it, bro.
Yeah, the whole flow to that actual
GDE SOBB can't lose. I mean, wanting to throw fingers for no reason, bro. Just
some Naruto signs. But anyway, so those are tunes, those are songs, those are made to be catchy, those are made to be replayable. So I maybe think that's where he sort of.
And that's where I was kind of like tuning in. Yeah, that's how I was interpreting what he was saying, because that's kind of what I was trying to say. But I feel like I probably said the wrong words to start this conversation off comparatively to the two.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to be a better term.
And if you think about it too, like songs or tunes, as he's calling them, they have a strict convention that they use, a strict structure. It's chorus or verse, chorus, verse, chorus. So it's like it's meant to be like it's meant to be catchy, you know. It's meant to like, okay, we're going back to the chorus, right? But in a score, in a piece of music for a movie, there are themes, you know, within maybe each track, but they're not meant to be like, okay, I'm gonna play track 1 and it's gonna play the theme of the movie 4 times.
It's gonna play a melody, then it's gonna go into a riff, into a solo, into the melody again, into a solo.
Yeah, and then, or it's gonna calm down if, you know, for this scene. So I kind of get what he means. I guess it's true what he's saying for certain people. I am a score guy. Like, I like listen to a score. I'll fucking replay that shit. They're memorable to me. Like, I will listen. I know the themes of movies. I'm like, there's the motif right there. And then songs are supposed to be catchy. That's what they're constructed for. So it's like, that's like comparing, let's say, Clair de Lune by Debussy. Are you familiar with that song, Clair de Lune?
No.
You've heard it for sure. It's always used in movies. If you play it right now, you'll be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is it?
Watch.
Clair de Lune?
Put it on. Yeah. CLAIRE DELUNE. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about.
Fucking A. Yeah. They play this shit all the time.
Yeah, so that's called Clair de Lune. That's by a composer, Debussy. And that is a song, right?
I'm glad that you said it, because I'm looking at this like, Debussy.
Hit the Debussy up. But yeah, so like that's a different music, right? And people recognize that, and it is memorable. Now, let's say Jay-Z's fucking Empire State of Mind. You know, that is a tune, and that's memorable on its own right. It's constructed to be catchy, to be replayable. But you're gonna tell me that something like Clair de Lune isn't memorable? So that's what I'm kind of like, well...
I guess I understand. Yeah. The understanding more so is that if you, for example... If I pick a random game out of this list, like Dot Hat GU Last Recode, I couldn't tell you how the background music went for one of the most important scenes in the games. I couldn't tell you how it went, even though I played that game without any background, and like I just zoned in on that game. I couldn't tell you, and I guess that's what he means, is that like compared to Aquatic Mine or any of the games in the video game music you can bump in the whip that you hear it and you're like, okay, I could play that. That's memorable compared to the random.
And think about, do you remember in Dragon's Dogma, that fucking song that played in the beginning?
Are you talking about the fucking metal song? As soon as you start, it is fucking metal song for the cutscene. Like, what is this shit?
Yeah, so like that song, right? That's like a tune, and I think I guess music does have different purposes, right? And I feel like maybe I'm being pedantic with what he was trying to, with like the point he was trying to illustrate. But yeah, like just music has different purposes, tunes are definitely meant to be more catchy and more listenable. But I think if you're talking about memorable, some of the greatest pieces of music are really memorable, you know. And they're in scores. Think about the Star Wars soundtrack, right? You know, the minute that fucking text crawl comes up,
you know the Star Wars orchestra. Yeah.
And that is a score. That is not a tune, but that's one of the most memorable pieces of music.
Damn, we should have started with this example.
or even I know, right? Or even like Indiana Jones. A lot of John Williams stuff is super memorable, and it's not a tune, but it's just a strong theme. The Avengers theme, you know, a lot of superhero themes have really strong themes, something that you can recount. But anyways, that's that. Sorry, Cade. I didn't mean to sound like a jerk on everything. I know what you meant. I think you're right. I just think that I was confused.
We used the wrong terminologies.
And that's why
we need to come up with better words. Somebody's going to tell us. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to figure it out. The word for that specific style of music specifically made to be background for a piece of media compared to... Yeah, we can just call tunes. We know what tunes are, but... Yeah, we just need a word for the other one.
Yeah, but I think, too, it depends. I think... Like, again, like your Sonic Frontiers, like those songs, if they're part of the score, I would say, right? Like you're playing, like they're part of the...
They come on when you're in the middle of a stage.
Yeah, they're the score. Like, I don't know that you would want to change it just because it's shorter. Like, it's part of the score. I think maybe it gets a little bit confusing when there's people singing on top of it. Like,
yeah,
when there's
it's like okay, that's a song, because in your
like
mind
Miles
you
Morales,
think, like that's a song,
like, or not Miles Morales, Into the Spider-Verse, right? Where there's songs like Biggie, like they use that in the score, but that's like that's a song in and of itself, so that's different than the score in some sense, right?
Right.
Even in Spider-Verse, I think like the second one, they have like 3 different songs, original songs, right?
I think there is another Post Malone Sway Lee song.
Yeah, they're really trying to replicate the fucking success of the first one.
Can you listen? If you're gonna be in the podcast, bro, you gotta show some respect.
Let's talk about dreams real quick. Like this would be the last topic. What do you have any? Have you had any recurring dreams ever? No. And do you put any stock into them? Like, is there any function to them? Like, I'll give you an example. So, like, Elise has recurring dreams about certain things, but she doesn't put any stock into why she's having those dreams. Like, for her, it's like, they're just dreams. It's whatever. It's like, you keep having the dreams with the same theme. Like, you know, for me, like, in my view, I'm like, that's something that's going on in your mind that you're concerned about or you're preoccupied with. But she doesn't put stock into dreams. I do. If I have, like, 3 of the same dream, or it feels the same, there's the same feeling, I'm like, what the fuck was that about? Like, what's going on? Why am I afraid of this? Why am I thinking of this? Where's the anxiety coming from? So for you and Deb, or whatever your friends, do you put any stock into dreams, for recurring dreams? When someone tells you a dream, are you like, yeah, I don't know, that might mean something? Or are you just like, yeah, whatever, it's just a dream? Like, how do you approach it?
This is a little awkward for me because I don't really dream that much.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, I'm a light sleeper, so...
Okay.
Yeah, especially with these I'm sorry, are you good, bro? Especially with these motherfuckers. Like,
right.
when they move around, one false move in the house, I'm instantly awake, and it takes me a minute to go back to sleep. But...
Okay.
Yeah, so I have, like, a hard time sleeping, especially with not tetanus, not the bacterial infection. The ear ringing shit.
Right. So what is it? Tinnitus?
Tinnitus, I think is how you pronounce it. I think, but I just have a hard time sleeping, like comfortably for like a long time. Like going to bed at 10 and being to bed the entire time from like.
Is that why you wake up so early and shit?
Yeah.
Or what? Damn.
Yeah, I wake up so early just in general because one of them will go use the bathroom, and hearing the scraping of the litter box will wake me up instantly. Yeah. So I don't really dream that much. But if I do dream, I know what the fuck. I'll be like, hold on. That's kind of weird. Let's analyze this for a second. Let's think about.
Okay, so you do kind of like think they're important in that way.
Yeah, because I don't do it as often. So if I have
Right.
one and it's not something dumb like, oh, I was dreaming I had to pee and I woke up and I had to pee, like not one of those. But if it's like some shit like I had a dream the other day that I was just chilling and there's a dog and the person was petting the dog and I'm sitting like this to them, and then the dog like stood up on two legs, leaned over to like smack them, but they had a knife in their hand and it just sliced them. And I was like,
oh shit.
And I just instantly woke up. Like that's what happens a lot of times with dreams. When something weird happens in the dream, I just instantly wake up and go, what the fuck? So I don't know. Here's a question for you, actually.
Okay.
Has Elise ever done this where she wakes up from a dream and she's crying and she's like, I had a dream that you left me?
This is nigga, this is why this topic came up, because Elise has a lot of dreams about our relationship, rather. But usually I'm doing something like some asshole shit.
Yeah, being a fuck boy.
And I'm like, you okay? Once is fine. Twice, I'm like, okay. 3 times, but it's been a while now. I've been with her for a while, and there's these recurring dreams, and she doesn't put any stock into them. And when I have dreams about certain things, and she's like, "Oh, what's wrong with me?" I'm like, I keep having this weird ass dream that's just so weird. It makes it like I wake up hurt, or depressed or something. But for her, she's like, it's just a dream. I'm like, no, So like, what is the function of dreams? Like what? Like it just makes you think like.
Yeah, that shit's never going.
What is the
away,
purpose?
Bro. I'm married, and my wife did that shit like a month ago. She was like, I had a dream that you fucking. And I was like, nigga, I'm right here. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
it was crazy, right?
I don't put any. I'm like her. I don't put any shake into dreams.
So you don't put any like stock into it?
I might think about them and be like, that's weird. Why was I thinking that? But I don't really put any stake into them.
I guess the question too was like, you don't think that there's a functional reason for why we dream? You think it's just like, well, our minds just come up with this shit that's not like a repressed psychological like
thing. You're gonna think I'm fucking crazy, bro. But Doctor Strange stole my whole swag.
Okay.
In the multiverse of madness, I've always said since like a little kid that like dreams are just like alternate realities, and you're just peeking in for a second. Because most of the time they'd be like very realistic dreams. It'd be like, oh, I went to the club and so and so was there, and there would be like some random person, and like then Bob from 7th period was there, and we were all like having fun, and we ran away from a guy. It's never like no normal shit. Like, yeah, I went to work.
You know what? You need to do shrooms. Because shrooms is really a waking dream.
No, I can't awake. I can't do that. Listen, I have a lot of repressed trauma. I can't just dive in, bro.
So then I got you then. So then right there, inherently in your heart of hearts, that you feel like dreams are some like a repressive thing
shit
in the back of your mind.
That's probably why I don't dream. Like, it's too far back. Like I can't turn that switch off. We're not dealing with that.
My nigga over here is saying like, oh, I don't put any stake into them, but I don't want to live a waking dream.
Fuck no, because what if I take that shit and I'll fuck around and be like, bruh, I just love sucking dick, bruh. I can't help it, bruh. Like, what if
I made a mistake marrying a woman.
I need some titties right now, bro. I can't do this shit. I need to go to that surgeon right now, bro. I can't.
Oh my god! Wow.
Castrate me.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people, me and Elise have talked about some people just going through their whole lives without reflecting on what they've experienced, what has shaped them, what has scarred them. You don't strike me as a person that would not reflect on the things that have happened to you and how they've shaped you, And even in the last episode, we talked a little bit about how maybe playing games to the degree that, we can sometimes is a coping mechanism you know. And even early in this podcast, I mentioned about the escapism from, like, when I was a kid, that video games provided me from, like, just the harsh reality of the world, you know? So, you just don't strike me as someone who would never want to dig deep, you know? And I'm not saying, like, do shrooms to do that, you know? You can if you wanted to, but...
My recommendation.
My recommendation isn't to just blindly do shrooms. I think you want to do some prep work, if anything, like which would be like, you know, you've been writing a lot about the things you want to do and your thoughts about things, but I think as you come into your 30s, you're going to start, like, a lot of those things might start to bubble up in some way, and like they did for me, you know. And post shrooms, I've had a lot of, like, clarity on, like, how I was and why I was a certain way. And then now shrooms is not going to solve your problems, but it does give you, like,
it's not the magic
a good way
session.
it does give you, like, a way to, like, oh shit, I act this way because of this, so this is why I'm this way. And you can start to piece together things, because it does dissolve a certain part of your mind that has protected you from things that you have not dealt with, let's say. And I've only done shrooms once, but from what I know of it, it is something that it's different every time. So one time you can have a really good experience, you know, and it doesn't really bring up those bad things, and you're just having a blast. Other times it could be different. It just depends on the type of person you are and how you see the world, if you know, and how you move through it, how you hold yourself every day. You know, like there's like a lot of things to it, like a lot of elements to it. But you strike me as somebody that would want to, like, learn about themselves and not just be like, I'm just never gonna pay attention to this stuff. Because
I do want to. I've been researching a therapist, because I want to go to, like, a local therapist. I don't want to do none of that online shit. I want somebody that's going to stare me face to face and be like, "You're fucked up. You know,
you're ugly."
You ever think that you're the problem? Yeah. I need somebody in my face to tell me you need to get your shit together. But I think more so, especially as I've started this 5-year plan that I'm on.
Yeah.
That a lot of this time now that I've been spending, especially because we don't have any kids and we're just, you know, just plotting for the next future, like plotting to move. That's the next step. Then after that, then it's children. And it's like, before I have children, while I'm in this section right here, getting this established, that nucleus household, why not understand me? I don't want to pass on trauma, generational bullshit. I don't want to pass that on to my kids. So I want to understand what makes me tick, and hopefully that lets me learn how my family ticks and how I've inherited that from them.
Yep.
And then how I can break those and how I can better express myself. I know for a fact that my introvertedness and my quietness and nervousness in real life is a product of something in my childhood.
Right.
Something deep that I was going to reawaken, and I'm going to be like, fuck.
Yeah, see, I knew you was my nigga. See, I knew.
Yeah,
like,
see,
that's
the
sort
fear.
Of
that's what it is. It's a fear of learning who I really am.
Yeah,
because I'm comfortable with how I am now, and I don't want who I am now to be somebody that I don't want to say it is like a negative thing, but you know what I'm saying. Just learning things about yourself that you don't like is kind of scary.
Yeah, that is something that I've, and that's actually one of the questions that I did have, but we could save that for next time. But yeah, just learning about aspects of yourself that are just ugly characteristics, things that are dark about you. Looking at, like I was telling, like me and Elise went on a walk today, and I was telling her about how when I was 25 and younger, I could never imagine, it's about to get real dark here, killing yourself. I could never imagine ODing. I could never imagine being like abusive or neglectful or becoming. I could never. I'm like, how do people do that? I don't fucking get it. You know, I even had a friend who passed because he OD'd, and I was like, how? What? He was he was a good guy. You know, I don't understand what the fuck happened. And I was telling him, like, I can see now. I could see myself going down any one of these paths, you know, because of the weight of the world, because of the bitterness, because, you know, I feel certain ways about things. And I'm like, you know, a lot of these paths are easy to fall down, right? You know, it's easy to just be like, I'm just going to become an alcoholic. I'm just going to become a hoarder and a shut-in. I'm just going to whatever, you know. And there's people that just don't deal with that kind of stuff. But it is scary when you start to realize, put yourself in that space, that you could become the worst version of yourself, you know, at like any moment.
And you wouldn't even like know that. It. And when you're in that moment, you don't even realize that you're in that moment. That's the scariest part about it. You don't realize it until you reflect after you got out. If you get out. Or you might be so far deep that even if you know, it's nothing you can do at that point. You're stuck with it. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Yeah. And that's like one of those really, I mean, it's kind of scary when you think about it. When you think about yourself, I think everybody thinks about themselves as like this, doesn't it look like this is lit up?
I'm hip, by, like, but it's just the light.
It's the sunlight hitting it right here. But
I thought it was a TV on this whole time. I was like, damn, this got the setup over here in the back. Fuck me, right? I just got a cat. Where is she?
But yeah, so it's one of those things where you just realize you come to terms almost. I mean, not that I've come to full terms, but it is scary to think about yourself becoming. There are these pieces in you that could lead you towards a path that is dark and just, you know, it's a weird realization because it's not something anyone has ever talked to me about in any sort of way, you know.
It's because a lot of the people around us, they don't understand it now. You know what I mean? Back then, it was just like, nigga, get your shit together.
That's true.
There wasn't no.
It's still like that.
Maybe
in certain cultures,
yeah, it wasn't no. Maybe you're dealing with past traumas, and that's why you're selling dope. No, it's just, nigga, get your shit together. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's certain things that our elders just can't teach us because they don't really think that far, and I think that's the biggest thing that's been scaring me about thinking about having kids. Is that it's not because a lot of people think about kids and they're like they're a designer item. Like, oh yeah, I have a kid. Oh yeah, they're gonna grow up and they're gonna play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like they think of all the idealistic things that they want their kid to do. But I've come to this realization earlier this year that like kids, like once you have a kid, like you can't really instill. You can instill morals, values, culture.
Yeah.
But they're their own human being. No matter what you do, you can throw that nigga in church every Wednesday and Sunday. He in the choir, and that nigga could still be an atheist. You could throw him in every basketball program, and he would still hate basketball. You can give him every tutor in the world, and that nigga be stupid as fuck. Like it just you can't really. There's certain things that you can't control because they're their own human being. You can only push them. You can only drive them, and only show them and teach them to a certain extent. But it's not just 18 years of doing that. It's forever until I die, hopefully first. You gotta just
hopefully.
You gotta just be there for them at like any situation that can happen. And I just thought, and that's what I've been doing, is just reflecting on all the shit I've gone through in life that my parents don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck I'm gonna do if my kids go through that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know. I'll probably be like, are you good?
No, that's a very wise, I feel like, I think that's very wise and mature of you to be thinking about those types of things, because that's something that I think about even now, and I don't see many people going down these like lines of thought where you think about, I imagine like having a kid or something and they turn out to be, what if they want to be like trans, or they're like, I don't feel comfortable in this, you know, or they want to be gay, or they want to be an atheist, or they not want to be gay, whatever, like whatever the situation calls
what if
for.
they're in a different,
or
because you know you're a cis hetero black man, black and you're a black man.
Wow. But right, like I'm a straight black man, half Mexican, like just more conservative with certain things, but you think about having a kid, and I don't want to I want them to come to their own conclusions with a lot of things with, with some guidance. I don't want them to be misled or anything, but you think about all these things in the world and like, what if my kid is this, or what if they're that, and how would you deal with that? Exactly. How you talk to them. And it's like, I don't even know. What if my kid's a murderer?
What if my kid's on this? What if my kid does this? There's so many scenarios you can do in your head, but you won't know until that scenario comes around and it actually happens. You know what I mean?
Right. Something I think about is like with OnlyFans. Like, what if I have a daughter
and she's a kid on OnlyFans?
I'm just like, how the fuck?
What if my daughter decides at 18, I'm going straight to Miami and I'm getting dick down on camera? What am I going to do? When I go on the internet and my wife's gone and I'm like, I'm going to beat my dick. And the very first video is my daughter getting blown.
These are...
You kill yourself.
Or you raise a son, a man or whatever, and he's like a coward, or he's just like this womanizer, or he's just like this bad person. You're just not a man.
I got 5 baby mamas.
Yeah, he's like, dude, what do you do? Like things. I'm like, how do you deal with any of those things? I mean, granted, those are all hypotheticals. I think that you could do a lot of the work when they're younger, but.
And a lot of those hypotheticals is always like in the weirdest of sections. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to think about my daughter doing that. I don't want to think about my son doing that. I don't want to think about my kids doing that. I don't want to think about none of that shit. But you got to understand they're going to do it. But
there's going to be I think about career-wise, right? Like, what if my son is a heavy gamer and he's like, dude, you need to get out there.
And he's like, nah, I'm good working at this grocery store. And it's like, no, nigga, you need to
it's just like,
get up and
because there is like, I know that my mom wants to be proud of me. I know that every parent wants to be proud of what their son or your daughter has done and accomplished. Some parents don't really care. Some parents have higher bars. Some parents don't have any bar, right? But you think about that pressure sometimes and like how your parents did that to you, but you're like, well, it was kind of important for me to have that pressure to become something because I needed someone to push me to say that, hey, you could be something more. You shouldn't settle for working at McDonald's or something. But there's other people that are like, no, my son wants to work at McDonald's and that's fine. I'm like,
that's cool.
It's like,
he's got a job.
It's like, he's got a job. He's got 6 baby mamas working at McDonald's, and he's got
my mom used to always, every 6 months, my mom would be like, so are they making you a manager? I'd be like, it's been 6 months, Mom. And you'd be like, well, you need to look for a new job.
Yeah.
Like, my mom always push me. Even to this day, I'm like chilling at this job now, and she's like, but where can you move up? And I'm like, damn, nigga, can I finish learning the job? Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah, she's still like that. She's always like, how can you move up? How can you get more money? How can you do this? How can you do that? And I guess that's because she's had to deal with that her whole life, just, paper chasing to move up in the government and stuff like that. So I guess she's just thinking that same mentality with me, like, you need to keep moving up. So by the time that you get to this point, you can retire and be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
That's a good conversation. That's what I want to talk about right there. I mean, there's more, but let's wrap it up because it's been fucking
5 hours.
5 hours again. I could probably maybe cut it down. Maybe I'll cut out some of the game stuff. I don't know.
Maybe we can cut out the K part. Maybe we can just cut that whole score part.
Yeah, we'll just save us the embarrassment.
Yeah, before K be like, unsubscribe.
Yeah. Block. Report.
Wow, they just talking all this shit about me. Wow.
I'm their big. Wow, fuck them.
I was. Fuck that. Leave the Discord.
Yeah, I literally was. Now I'm gonna go on Twitter and be like, hey, fuck this fucking.
Yeah, make sure you get this part too.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of Status Check. Let us know what you guys think about fucking anything we said. Just comment on everything.
Everything.
But, so like, comment, and subscribe. And Sondi, do you have any last words? Any parting words?
Play no straight roads.
Hashtag. Oh my, it's so random.
Hashtag we will play a rhythm game. That's what we're going to do. Hashtag free rhythm.
Rhythm Gate.
Rhythm Gate. Hashtag Rhythm Gate. We're going to get Ben to play a rhythm game on this fucking podcast. We just got to find the right one.
I said Space Channel 5 or whatever.
It's got Michael Jackson in it, bro.
I said it's fine. You said it's in the PS4. I'm like,
say
that's
that,
even
and
easier.
then I'm going to make that the very first game we play for Season 4, bro.
What's our first game that we chose?
Death by Degrees?
Yeah, we see that is a strategic game though because of Tekken. All right, that's just this. Listen,
we'll switch Fate. We'll switch Fate for it. Fuck Fate. We'll do Fate.
Okay,
we'll do Fate. We'll put it back on the list. We'll do Space Channel 5. See, this is why I wanted to do the draft. But then look, I know that's why I wanted to get some backup picks because I knew we would be like, fuck it, let's just do this.
Yeah, I mean, you want to play Space Channel 5? Yeah, I feel like it's a good voter too because that's something I've. In the gaming consciousness, it's like always there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I figured out through you actually that it was a rhythm game. But yeah, I'm down to play it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Sondi, good talking to you. I love you, man. Yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.